1 second, I'm a underpaid physics nerd measuring neutrino oscillations in some basement nobody cares about, and the next second, bam, a robot voice is screaming inside my skull about Lord Games and Beast Tides and fighting for the Iron Throne. I wake up on a cold stone floor. In a dungeon, surrounded by jail cells. There's a desk in front of me with a literal bone hand stuck in it, burning creepy blue fire like some kind of cursed candle. Very welcoming. 5 stars on the interior design. The voice keeps going. Apparently, every human got yeeted into some other dimension, and we're all lords now. Each of us gets a territory, minimum 20 kilometers apart from each other, and we have exactly 7 days before a wave of monsters shows up to eat our faces. If my territory core gets destroyed, I die. Cool. Very cool. Love that for me. I pull up my stats and immediately want to cry. Strength, 3. Agility, 2. Intelligence, 8. Resistance, 3. Normal people average 5 across the board. My body is basically a wet noodle because I spent my entire career staying up late and never exercising. But hey, at least I'm smart. That'll definitely help when a giant wolf is chewing on my leg. My talent is called All Things Can Be Known. I stare at enemies really hard and roll a mental dice. And if I learn enough about them, my damage ignores all their defenses. So basically, I'm a walking encyclopedia that hits like a truck. Eventually, if I survive long enough to stare at things. I open the world chat, and it's absolute chaos. Billions of people all screaming at once. Some guy is claiming to be the first emperor and asking for donations. Another dude is celebrating because his terminal cancer disappeared. Someone's asking where to find succubi. Standard internet behavior, honestly. Feels like home. I find a random channel with 50 people, and things get slightly more useful. One guy shows off his starting troops. 20 generic farmers with flat 5s across all stats. Not amazing, but at least he has troops. Then some absolute maniac drops a screenshot of his starter unit. A dragon egg. The chat explodes. Everyone's losing their minds. But then someone does the math. The egg takes up 50 population out of the 100 cap, needs 500-degree heat for 30 days to hatch, and the baby dragon would still need years to grow up. Meanwhile, this guy has half his population slot gone and 0 combat power with a beast tide coming in a week. Ship me the egg, bro. I'll hatch it for you. Someone offers. Sure you will, buddy. I close the chat. Everyone's got their own problems. Some people got lucky, some didn't. Seems roughly fair overall. I grab the bone lamp off the desk and hold it up like the world's most disturbing flashlight. Time to see what kind of dump I actually got as my glorious territory. Because apparently the universe decided that the guy who studied invisible particles for a living should now run a kingdom out of a prison basement. Alright, let me check out what kind of glorious kingdom the universe gave me. My territory is called Dark Dungeon, Level 1. 300 square meters. That's smaller than a decent apartment. I got 2 special traits though. First, anti-magic stones that cut enemy spell damage by 60% and slow their casting by 40% inside my dungeon. Not bad. Second, a taming feature. Throw an enemy in a cell, and I can roll dice every day to break their will and make them loyal. So basically, I'm running a brainwashing prison. Mom would be so proud. I find a rusty set of keys on the wall and start checking cells like the world's saddest real estate agent. Cell 1. Broken door, stone bed, squat toilet. Charming. Cell 2. Storage room. Pots, brooms, and torture tools. Surgical knives, nails, whips, handcuffs. Also blank paper and pens. This place had a history, and I'm not sure I want to know about it. Cells 3 through 7. Absolutely nothing. Empty. Wonderful. Cell 8. I nearly have a heart attack. 5 floating monsters are crammed inside. They're black-brown, shaped like smooth octopus heads, with 8 jellyfish tentacles dangling underneath, and each one has a giant fist-sized eye in the center glowing red. These are my starting troops. Demon jailers. 5 of them. They have 3 strength, 4 agility, 7 intelligence, so they're basically me, but as flying eyeballs. They can shoot a mental beam from their eye that burns things and occasionally knocks enemies unconscious. Plus their tentacles have neurotoxin that can paralyze targets. They're ranged units with magic potential, which is actually decent. The moment they notice me, they float over to the bars with their big stupid eyes, radiating psychic waves of joy and worship, like 5 ugly puppies made of nightmares. I can actually feel their emotions through some kind of mental link. I let them out. They immediately start orbiting around me like creepy satellites. They can't make any sound because they literally have no vocal organs. Just silent floating eyeball squids following me everywhere. This is my army. This is what I have to work with. I tell them to stay put and search every inch of the dungeon. Total inventory, 0 food. Nothing useful I missed. So if I want to eat, I have to go outside into the underground world and find something. Great. I sit down and open the chat channel to gather intel from other players. Some guy has a river valley fortress, 2,000 durability, 60 population, and a trait that reduces each soldier's population cost. He's sitting on 75 musketeer troops. 75. He's laughing and heading out to hunt while I'm sitting in a closet with 5 floating eyeballs and 0 food. Another guy has a great cemetery with a resurrection pool. Toss in a corpse, 70% chance you get a skeleton soldier, 10% chance a zombie. Someone immediately suggests throwing the dragon egg in. You want egg drop soup? Comes the reply. Then there's the guy with a tent camp, mobile base, cavalry spawning, movement speed bonus. 3 special traits. His whole strategy is just ride around and take whatever he wants. I don't need a blacksmith, he types. Everything I need is out there. I'll just take it. The chat is like, that word take is doing a lot of heavy work there, buddy. Someone warns that the monsters outside are terrifyingly strong and smart. Wolves that flank your troops and target weak points. Lost 3 militia in one outing. So this isn't going to be easy for anyone. I ask if people can talk to their soldiers. Everyone says yes. Their troops are like real people who chat and joke around. I look at my 5 silent floating eyeball squids who communicate through vibes. I post their stats in chat just to see what people think. Lovecraft called. He wants his army back. My sanity points are dropping just looking at the picture. Interesting though, they can use magic. Great jailers. Send them to work at a porridge shop. Can we see the mouth parts? I have a bold idea about those tentacles. Bro, stop. I close the chat. Some things cannot be unseen. I dig through the torture tools like I'm shopping at the world's most cursed hardware store and pull out a saw cleaver. Blue quality, which is second tier, made from some unknown creature's spine and mystery metal. One side is a smooth blade, one side is a saw edge, and you can flip between them with a flick of the wrist. It's a meter long and still has dried meat bits stuck to it. I choose not to think about whose meat that was. Time to go outside. I leave 2 eyeballs guarding the dungeon and take 3 with me. I push open the rotting door expecting pitch-black tunnels, but instead the walls and floor are covered in glowing egg-shaped orbs. They have vein-like patterns on the surface and they're pulsing. Like hearts. Beating. Everywhere. My talent kicks in automatically. All things can be known. Activates just from looking at them. I roll a 5 on my mental dice and get 10% intel. These are cave demon eggs. Ant-type creatures, tainted by some greater demon's blood, worship some dark god. They like wet, dark places and adults grow to 2 meters long. Oh good. Giant demon ants. Right outside my front door. Love the neighborhood. I keep walking for about 10 minutes, mapping the tunnels as I go, when I hear a rustling sound ahead. Around the corner comes a giant ant the size of a small car. Cave demon worker ant strength 6, agility 6, resistance 6, 150 HP. It senses things through pheromones because its eyes basically don't work. It spits venom. And here's the fun detail. The description says it's edible if you remove the head. Slightly sour taste. Thanks for the restaurant review, universe. I freeze. This thing has double my strength and triple my health. Run, I bolt. My 3 eyeballs float after me. But then I realize, I can outrun it. Maybe, but my eyeballs can't. If I abandon them, I lose 3 of my 5 soldiers, and I'm completely screwed for the beast tide. So I do the dumbest brave thing I've ever done. I turn around, grip my saw cleaver, and charge. The eyeballs whip their tentacles across its body. The ant screeches. While it stumbles, I dodge sideways past its charge, swing the cleaver, and chop. One back leg comes clean off. Green juice sprays everywhere. The blade cuts through. Thank God for blue quality weapons, because with my pathetic 3 strength, I'd be scratching paint off this thing with anything worse. It swings its massive jaws at me. An eyeball fires a purple psychic beam right into its face, knocking its bite off course. I hack off another leg. The eyeballs pump 3 more beams into its head. I unfold the saw edge and drive it into its belly, 20 centimeters deep. The ant goes absolutely berserk, kicks me square in the chest with one of its thick legs. I stagger back, tasting blood, and my cleaver is stuck, wedged in too deep, and I don't have the strength to yank it out. Its jaws snap at my head. An eyeball beam hits it just in time, deflecting the bite by a few centimeters. I feel the wind from those pincers passing my face. I scramble behind it. With its legs chopped, it can't turn fast enough to catch me. We do this ridiculous dance. It's spinning in circles, snapping its jaws, me jogging behind it but staying just out of reach, the eyeballs peppering it with beams from a distance. This thing is so tanky. Finally, I jump onto its back, grab my cleaver handle, brace my feet against its shell, and wrench the blade free. Green blood explodes everywhere like a garden hose. 1 slash, 2, 3, over and over until it lets out one final screech, twitches its legs, and goes still. I stab it in the head twice more just to be safe, then collapse on the ground spitting blood. HP check, 56 out of 90. That kick almost killed me. Then it hits me. Ants are social insects. This thing probably sprayed. Help me. Pheromones the entire fight. More are probably coming right now. I order my 3 eyeballs to wrap their tentacles around the corpse and drag it back to the dungeon. We are not leaving free food behind. I'll figure out the cooking situation later. I post a picture in the chat channel. Monster hunting is exciting. Photo, is that a spider? That's clearly an ant, you idiot. Meanwhile, Tent Camp Guy casually mentions he got a blue quality elven shortbow from a kill. Of course he did. But the real entertainment is River Valley Fortress. That guy with 75 musketeers found a gold mine 3 kilometers from his base, started mining it, and some other player's griffin spotted him. The Griffin Lord killed his farmers and trash-talked him. River Valley Fortress is not having it. He's planning an ambush. Wait for the Griffin to land, then light it up with all 75 muskets. Block the resource points so Griffin Boy can't gather anything. Let him fly around on his bird forever. We'll see how he handles the beast tide with no resources. He promised to livestream screenshots of the battle. I'm sitting in a dungeon eating mystery ant meat, and these guys are already starting wars. It's been like 2 hours. Back in the dungeon, no rest for the wicked. I lay the giant ant corpse on the floor and go full mad scientist on it. I grab a dagger from the torture tool collection and start taking it apart piece by piece. Legs off. Shell cracked open. Muscles exposed. I find its heart, triangle-shaped, big as a soccer ball, covered in dark green slime. I map out every organ so I know exactly where to stab next time. The system rewards me with 15% more intel on cave demons just from the dissection. So studying counts too. My Nord brain is finally paying off in this world. Then comes the fun part. Dinner. I slice off some leg meat, carefully remove the blood vessels, and roast it over my bone candle like the saddest campfire cookout in history. First bite, tastes like chicken actually. A little bland, but no weird flavors. I try a sip of the green blood out of scientific curiosity. Sour and bitter. I spit it out immediately. Science has limits. I feed the rest to my eyeballs. They wrap their tentacles around the chunks, and I don't want to describe how they eat. Nobody needs that image. After dinner, I start carving the hardest pieces of shell to make chest armor. Finally using my hands for something other than typing research papers. Bang. Voices outside my door. This is the place. I remember there's an abandoned dungeon here. Let's hide inside. Those soldier ants out there are insane. Damn bugs ate all our slaves. This trip was a total waste. I peek through the arrow slit in the wall. 3 gray dwarfs. Short, mean-looking, covered in blood. My talent fires automatically. Gray dwarfs. Strength 9. Agility 7. Resistance 9. HP 54 out of 160. 9 strength. I have 3. These guys are monsters. But they're also badly hurt and bleeding everywhere. So there's that. Their description says they're an arrogant, cruel dwarf subspecies from the deep underground. They have a lovely cultural tradition of enslaving other species. How charming. The leader starts sweet-talking through the door. Open up, friend. We just want shelter. We mean no harm. Right. The slavers mean no harm. While he's talking, he signals the other 2, and they quietly pull out hand axes and creep toward the door. They think I can't see them through the arrow slit. Fire. My 5 eyeballs unleash concentrated psychic beams through the window slots. 5 purple lightning bolts slam into the leader and knock him flat on his back. His old wounds rip open. HP drops to 42. Last warning. Leave. The leader changes tactics immediately. Gets all diplomatic. Come on, friend. The cave demons are coming. We can help you defend this place. You can't possibly hold it alone. I can hear the fishing hook in that sentence. He's trying to figure out how many troops I have. I put on my best poker voice and say I have plenty of soldiers and don't need help. He doesn't buy it. Nobody stations troops in a dump like this. Are you a merchant? An adventurer? Let's talk business. The other dwarf tries the emotional angle. You've never survived a beast tide. I have. When that wave hits, lone wolves die. You really think this tiny dungeon can hold? Okay, that one actually gets to me a little. I think it over and make an offer. Fine. You want in? 3 conditions. Drop your weapons. Put on blindfolds. Wear handcuffs. The leader's face goes dark. Don't you think that's a bit much? You're refugees. I'm the one with the fortress. Take it or leave it. Or try breaking in. See how that goes. I signal the eyeballs to charge up another volley in the windows. My heart is pounding because honestly, if these guys commit to a real fight, I'm probably dead. But I put on my best, I dare you face. Then one of the dwarves screams, "Boss." The bugs are coming, skittering sounds in the darkness. Black shapes closing in. Fine. We agree. Just let us in now. I toss out 3 sets of handcuffs and blindfolds through the window. They throw down their axes, put on the blindfolds and cuffs. All very cooperative. I open the door. Attack. The second the door opens, all 3 charge and swinging. The absolute backstabbing little. They only put cuffs on one hand each and hid the other behind their backs. One of them used his body to block my view of the trick. A dwarf tackles my legs. Another one lands on my chest. The third scoops up a dropped axe and raises it over my head. This all happens in about 2 seconds flat. Beautiful teamwork, honestly. If I wasn't about to die, I'd applaud. The axe comes down. A crackling tentacle whips across the room and sends the axe dwarf flying off me. Paralyzed. HP, 28. The one hugging my legs loosens his grip for 1 second to grab the axe, and I kick him in the chest with everything I've got. He tumbles backward. The eyeballs swarm him instantly, tentacles cracking like whips. He screams so loud it attracts the cave demons outside. Slam. I kick the door shut. 2 dwarves are slumped against the wall, beaten, paralyzed, terrified. The third is barely conscious. I stand up, brush off the dust, and let out the biggest exhale of my life. Thank God the eyeballs are actually decent at close combat. Thank God these dwarves were already half dead from their wounds. Because if they'd been at full health, I don't want to think about it. I lock the cell door, and their stats pop up. The leader is Monet Iron Rust, level 4, resistance to taming at 89. The other 2 are Copperbeard and Oak Shield Iron Rust, levels 2, resistance 72 and 67. A whole family of angry little slavers. Monet rips off his blindfold, sees 1 scrawny human and 5 floating eyeballs, and spits on the floor in disgust. He struggles against the handcuffs, but they won't budge. See, these aren't regular handcuffs. They're abyss handcuffs, made from abyssal metal, and they cut the wearer's strength in half as long as their strength is under 10. Monet's strength 9 drops to 4.5. Weaker than me. For once in my life, I'm the strong one in the room. What a time to be alive. I sit down in a chair facing his cell, bone lamp casting dramatic shadows on my face, doing my best, crime boss interrogation, impression. Time to squeeze some information out of these guys. Monet laughs bitterly. Spent my whole life catching slaves, and now I'm the one in chains. Funny how that works. He tries to negotiate. Offers me slaves, money, treasure. Just let them go in 7 days. Why 7 days? I ask. He looks at me like I'm an idiot. Turns out this whole cave demon explosion isn't random. There's something called Ant Week, a zodiac event where all ant-type species breed 900% faster and mature 90% quicker. On the last day, day 7, they go absolutely berserk and attack everything in sight. After that day, they rapidly age and die off. My brain nearly short-circuits. The beast tied the system warned me about the ant swarm finale. I keep my poker face and push for more. So every week a different species explodes in population. Monet laughs so hard his gray beard shakes. You're so ignorant you don't even seem like you belong in this world. It's not every week. Once every 6 months is normal. Sometimes it's a month-long event, sometimes a year. There was even a demon year once. And your human race? Last era. You had a human decade. 10 straight years of explosive growth. That's what led to the Great Human Emperor's expedition. Now that catches my attention. Tell me more about this expedition. It's your race's history, and you're asking me. He stares at me in disbelief, then clams up. Take off these cuffs, and I'll tell you the rest. I stand up, give him a cold look, and walk away without a word. From the next cell over. I know what happened next. Monet loses it. Copperbeard, you traitor. I walk over to Copperbeard's cell. He's already wearing his best. Please don't hurt me. Smile. He spills everything. Last era. Humans were nothing. Just food for other races, hiding in some corner of a continent. Then the human decade zodiac hit, and humanity exploded. Heroes and legendary warriors popped up everywhere. A human emperor united them and launched a massive campaign across the entire material plane. Humans allied with elves and dwarves, crushed the troll empire that had dominated for an entire era and spread across the whole world. Your eye demons? Copperbeard adds with a nervous grin. They used to be a powerful, noble species in the underground. The human emperor's armies slaughtered them so badly they became an endangered species. I glance at my 5 floating eyeball squids. So their ancestors were once powerful, and my ancestors are the ones who nearly wiped them out. Awkward. What happened after the expedition? When the human decade ended, humanity weakened. The emperor's 4 strongest knights betrayed him, defeated him, and split the territory into 4 duchies. Nivgard, Aegacia, Astra, and Am. They control the surface, the seas, the underground, even the skies. That's all I know. Hard to get surface news down here. I toss him a roasted ant leg through the bars. Thanks for cooperating. That's your payment. I'll verify this information, and I hope for your sake you didn't lie. In the next cell, Monet's face turns purple with rage watching Copperbeard happily chew ant meat. The great gray dwarf warrior, selling out his people's dignity for a bug leg. Copperbeard then tells me who they are. All 3 are from the Iron Rust tribe. They were on a slave-trading expedition when the ant explosion caught them off guard. Their whole caravan got scattered. Slaves escaped or got eaten. Most of their people died or went missing. These 3 ran until they found my dungeon and tried to murder me, which I will not be forgetting anytime soon. I checked the chat channel. River Valley Fortress actually went to war with the Griffin Lord next door and is posting combat screenshots. Lines of musketeers firing volleys at each other like it's the 1700s. Meanwhile, some poor guy's militia can barely handle wolves. We're clearly not playing the same game, he types. No kidding, buddy. I share the Ant Week intel with the channel. The reaction is immediate panic. That's the beast tide? Giant demon ants. Oh, no wonder my granary got raided by ants. They stole all my food. My territory is in a forest. I'm surrounded. Dig up every egg you can find. Kill them before they grow. Someone also fills in more lore about the Human Emperor expedition. Apparently, after the empire split into 4 duchies, one of them, Aegacia, collapsed and became a war zone. River Valley Fortress is in Aegacia. Fun neighborhood. Another player heard a completely different version where the emperor was actually a tyrant and the knights were heroes who stopped him. History is written by the winners, I guess. I rest a bit. No sun underground, so I can't tell day from night without checking the handbook. It's 4:40 p.m. HP recovered slightly to 65, but my stamina dropped to 75 because apparently just being awake costs energy. You only recover it by sleeping. This body is basically a phone on 10% battery at all times. I grab the dwarf's confiscated weapons. Monet's hand axe is blue quality, gives 1 strength and 1 agility. The other 2 axes are basic white garbage. There's also a wooden shield. I strap Monet's axe to my back, hold the shield in my left hand, cleaver in my right, and head outside to deal with those eggs. Time to go egg hunting. I start slashing through egg clusters, and they pop like water balloons. Green goo everywhere. Most eggs are still in early stages, just yolk basically, but some have half-meter larvae inside. 1 chop each. 5 gold coins per larva kill. 5 coins. An adult ant gave me 20 and nearly killed me. 4 baby worms equal 1 adult ant in profit, and these things can't even fight back. I look at the vast field of glowing eggs stretching into the darkness. My eyes light up like a kid in a candy store. Suddenly, I don't mind the pulsing veins and the slimy textures at all. Every egg is a slot machine. Most are duds, but there are so many that the larvae payouts just keep coming. I tell my eyeball to start blasting too. Purple beams explode eggs left and right. I'm swinging my cleaver through clusters like I'm mowing a lawn. Green juice is flying everywhere. Larva bodies piling up. Gold coins racking up. I completely forget to watch my surroundings because I'm having too much fun. Skitter, skitter. A massive shape bursts out of the ground right in front of me. Soldier ant strength 8. Agility 6. Resistance 8. HP 160. 3 skills: pheromone release, burrowing, and acid venom spray. This thing is a whole different beast from the worker ant. Its shell has a metallic sheen, spikes jutting from its legs, longer jaws, and it looks like it was specifically designed by nature to kill things. I'm 20 meters from the dungeon door. If I run, it catches me. The soldier ant sees the egg carnage and goes absolutely ballistic. It opens its jaws and spits a glob of acid venom straight at my face. I throw myself flat on the ground. The acid sails over me, but droplets splash onto my clothes and immediately burn holes through the fabric. My skin underneath stings like hot oil. Before I can even stand up, a spike leg stabs down at my eyeball companion. The eyeball whips a tentacle and deflects the strike, but the spike slices off one of its tentacles in the process. The eyeballs inside the dungeon open fire through the arrow slits. Psychic beams pound the soldier ant, staggering it backward. I do something incredibly stupid. I roll under the ant's body, drop my shield, grip the cleaver with both hands, and stab upward right where the heart should be based on my dissection notes. The blade punches through the shell, and green blood pours down on my face. The ant thrashes wildly. One of its spiked legs drives straight into my calf. The barbed tip hooks into the muscle, and as the ant kicks, it rips a gash open. Pain like I've never felt. My face twists into something inhuman, but I can't move. I curl into a ball under this dying monster, arms over my head, praying none of the other 5 legs stab through my organs. Every kick that lands on my stomach makes me want to scream, but they're getting weaker. Psychic beams hammer its head like white lightning. The thrashing slows. One last weak stomp on my belly that doesn't even break skin. Then silence. I lie under a dead giant ant, covered in green blood, with a hole in my leg, swearing to myself that I will never crawl under one of these things again. Lesson learned. The hard way. As usual. Good news. My strength went from 3 to 4 and agility from 2 to 3. Fighting actually levels you up. 2 of my eyeballs also hit level 2, getting stat bumps to agility and intelligence. The grind is real, and it works. Bad news. There's a soldier ant spike driven clean through my calf and pinned into the ground, and I'm bleeding everywhere. The spike has tiny barbs running down it like fish hooks, so I can't just yank it out. I grab my axe and hack the spike free from the ant's leg, leaving the barb still embedded in my flesh. I lean on an eyeball like a floating crutch and hobble back to the dungeon, dragging a blood trail behind me. Monet sees me limping and looking like death and immediately starts his sales pitch. Ran into a soldier ant, huh? Those things are nothing for us. 1 axe swing. Let us out. We'll handle the bugs for you. If you're so tough, why were you running from them like scared rabbits? His face turns red. We ran into a cave lord. You've never seen a real swarm. Ants covering every surface, everywhere you look. I stop listening because I need to deal with this spike in my leg. I try to shave off the barbs with the axe. Too hard. Won't budge. So I take a deep breath, grab the spike, and RIP it out the wrong direction in one pull. I can't even scream. The pain is so intense my voice just stops. Sweat rolls down my face like rain. Status: severe bleeding. -5 HP per minute. I have 32 HP. I will be dead in 6 minutes. Monet's smiling now. I have healing potions on me. Let me out, and they're yours. I keep my voice steady even though I'm dying. If I die, nobody's coming to unlock your cell. You'll starve in there. Hand them over, and I'll keep feeding you. My friends will find me. They'll follow my trail markers. You'll be a dried-out corpse by then. I ignore him. I'm not letting him out. The second those cuffs come off, it's me going into the cell. Besides, if he really had healing potions, why didn't he use them on his injured buddy Oak Shield? And even if the potions exist, how do I know they're not poisoned? Then I remember, the torture kit has needles and thread. I grab them, and without cleaning, without disinfecting, without anything resembling proper medical procedure, I sew my own leg shut. My whole body is shaking. Every stitch feels like someone pressing a lit cigarette into raw meat. I wrap it with torn cloth strips. Status: weakened. Strength -2, agility -2. HP: 22 out of 90. The bleeding stopped. I let out a breath I've been holding for what feels like an hour. Monet is actually staring. That needle stitching thing. Who taught you that? What do you mean, who taught me? How do you stop bleeding? Healing salves. Priest healing spells. There's dozens of ways. I've literally never seen anyone sew skin shut with thread before. Turns out, magical healing is so common and cheap in this world that nobody ever bothered developing actual medicine. Surgery doesn't exist here, because why would it when you can just wave a glowing hand and fix everything? Meanwhile, I'm over here doing Civil War-era field surgery on myself with torture implements. While I've got him talking, I ask why the cave demons I keep running into are always alone, when they're supposed to be group creatures. Monet explains everything. Normally, cave demons are low-ranking creatures with small territories, below even kobolds on the food chain. But Ant Week supercharged their reproduction. The carrier ants spread eggs everywhere underground, and the adults scattered thin to protect all those egg sites. Only the main nest has large numbers grouped together. So your team ran into the main nest. That's why you got swarmed. Monet spits. Our captain got greedy. Said the nest would be empty because all the ants went out to guard eggs. Said there'd be treasure inside. We listened to that idiot and walked right into a death trap. So you know where the nest is? Obviously. But with your strength? You'd die before you got close. I don't want to go there. I want to avoid it. Draw me a map. Why should I help you? Because you want dinner. He grits his teeth, takes the paper and pen I throw into his cell, and starts drawing with his cuffed hands. I give paper to all 3 dwarfs separately. 3 maps, 3 perspectives. Cross-reference them so nobody can trick me with fake directions. Physics researcher brain. Trust, but verify. I count up my earnings from today. 1 hour of egg smashing plus the soldier ant kill, 215 gold coins. The system stores them in my handbook and I can materialize them out of thin air. I pop one out and examine it. One side has the goddess of light, Surin. Other side has the dark goddess, Shar. Universal currency across the surface world, underground, and even other planes. I give the dwarves their ant meat dinner as promised. They have wine in their canteens. Low alcohol, terrible taste. I pour it out and boil the canteen over the bone lamp to burn off the alcohol, then drink the remaining water. Monet screams at me for wasting perfectly good booze. Sorry, pal. I'm a scientist, not a sommelier. Hydration beats intoxication when you have 22 HP. I stumble into an empty cell with a stone bed and collapse onto it. Day 1 in the new world. Killed a giant ant. Got ambushed by slavers. Sewed my own leg shut with torture needles. Earned 215 coins. Made 3 prisoners draw me maps for bug meat. My body is wrecked, but I'm alive. That counts as winning, right? I fall asleep reading the chat. Last thing I see before passing out is people showing off their troops. Some guy has a tree nymph. Cute green-skinned elf girl with pointy ears and a bow. Another dude has a succubus with horns and a whip. The chat immediately devolves into exactly what you'd expect. Meanwhile, River Valley Fortress won his gold mine war and recruited a hero unit from a tavern. Basically an elite soldier with special abilities. Some people just live on easy mode. I wake up to a system announcement that hits like a truck. 26 million players died yesterday. Day 1. 26 million people gone. Their territories are now abandoned and up for grabs. This isn't a game. This is a meat grinder. The chat is panicking. People actually die. My troops are garbage. What do I do? My island territory has nothing but sand. But there's good news too. The building system just unlocked. My taming feature also triggers automatically. A ghostly dice rolls in front of my bed for each prisoner. Monet, rolled a 3. Failed. Resistance stays at 89. Stubborn old goat. Copperbeard, rolled a 5. Success. Resistance drops from 72 to 62. Getting there, buddy. Oakshield, rolled a 2. Failed. Resistance stays at 67. This taming system is incredible. Every single day, I get a free roll to break down their willpower. Eventually, mathematically, they will convert. I could tame enemy heroes this way. Just stuff them in a cell and wait. My dungeon isn't a disadvantage. It's a recruitment center with extra steps. I check my building options. 2 slots available. Level 2 territory upgrade. Costs 500 gold, 500 stone, 500 wood. Way too expensive right now. Trading market. Lets players trade items with each other. Might attract traveling merchants. Costs only 200 gold. Demon Pillar. Spawns 5 eyeballs per week at 25 gold each. Costs 200 crystals. Don't have crystals. Dark Burrow. Spawns 10 kobolds per week at 10 gold each. Costs 200 wood and 200 stone. Kobolds. Cheap little lizard dog creatures. Low stats, but they can mine, they can fight in melee, they have dark vision, and they only cost 1 population each. They'd be perfect meat shields for the beast tide. But I need wood and stone, and there are no trees underground. No trees, no wood. Dead end. So I spend my 215 gold on the trading market. A cell wall vanishes and reveals a room with a balance scale inside. Done. 15 gold left. I'll figure out resources through trading later. I stand up to go monster hunting and nearly fall flat on my face. My body feels like it's made of wet paper. Status: infected. Fever. HP: 25 out of 90. The wound I stitched up last night without cleaning? Infected. Obviously. Because sewing yourself shut with dirty torture needles in a dungeon while covered in alien bug blood is not proper medical procedure. Who could have predicted this? I smell something awful and at first I think it's the wound, but no, it's the dried ant blood and slime all over my clothes from yesterday. It fermented overnight into the most disgusting sour stench imaginable. The wound itself is oozing yellow pus with some mystery fungus growing on the edges. Lovely. Monet smells me from across the room. That infection will kill you. But I have a solution. You have medicine? No? I lied yesterday about the healing potions. If I had any, I'd have used them on myself already. At least he's honest now. So what's your solution? He grins. I know where to find myconids nearby. Mushroom people. They follow a druidic faith called the Spore Circle. They can clean wounds with their spores. Works amazingly well. Mushroom people who heal with spores. Sure. Why not? But I can barely stand up without breaking into cold sweats. Walking 20 minutes to find mushroom doctors sounds like a death sentence. Is there water nearby? 20 minutes south. Underground river. Too far. Everything is too far when you have 25 HP and a fever. I decide to check the trading market instead. Maybe some other player is selling medicine. I drag myself into the trading market room. It's just an empty space with a stone scale on the floor, but my handbook lights up with a full marketplace interface. Rules are simple. No scamming. No hiding important info. No false advertising. No price controls though. Free market capitalism even in a fantasy dungeon apocalypse. The market is already buzzing. People selling deep-sea pearls, spears, rice, mystery ores. Someone's trying to buy a succubus at negotiable prices. Classy. Turns out you can't trade living units through the market. No teleporting soldiers. You can trade them in person, but they lose morale. Nobody wants to be sold like furniture, apparently. I filter through the junk and find what I need. Healing potion, 20 gold, restores 80 HP in 5 seconds. Nice, but I can't afford it. Ancient tree offering, heals 4 HP per second for 15 seconds. Not what I need. Fairy amulet, blue quality necklace that passively heals 1 HP per minute and boosts energy recovery by 10%. The seller wants a blue weapon in trade. And then, jackpot. Strong liquor, blue quality, 59 proof ancient recipe booze. Treats infections, provides minor healing, and gives 2 resistance at the cost of -2 intelligence for an hour. Exactly what my infected leg needs. I check my inventory. 15 gold coins, the saw cleaver, 5 abyss handcuffs, 3 dwarf axes, 1 blue, 2 white, and 1 dwarf shield. I message the amulet seller first. Blue dwarf hand axe for your fairy amulet. Pause. Sorry, I want something with longer reach. Spear or bow. I don't have those. What if I add the dwarf shield? Add 20 gold coins too. 10. Final offer. Deal. It hurts. That amulet is overpriced, and we both know it. But healing items are stupidly rare right now. Everyone's hoarding them. When it's your life on the line, you don't haggle. You pay and shut up. I put the axe and shield on the stone scale. They dissolve into light and vanish. A necklace with a blue gemstone appears on the other side. I check the stats, matches the listing. I hang it around my neck. 1 HP per minute doesn't sound like much, but over time, that's 60 HP an hour just for wearing jewelry. Best impulse purchase of my life. Next, I message the liquor seller. Can I trade you a special item for booze? What you got? I send him the Abyss handcuffs info. What am I going to do with handcuffs? I want pretty accessories. Fancy clothes. Something nice. They're great for capturing prisoners, though. I don't have prisoners. Then a pause. Actually, wait. Handcuffs could be fun. 1 pair for 1 barrel of liquor. Deal. Can you throw in a barrel of clean water? I'm in a bad spot. No water nearby. What do you need water for? You know what, sure. First transaction, let's be friends. I might want more handcuffs later. A friend request pops up. Some guy named Limu. Adding friends reveals my real name, which is risky. But I'm underground in a dungeon. Nobody's finding me anytime soon. I accept. 2 barrels appear on the scale. 1 labeled water, 1 labeled liquor. That's actually thoughtful. I drink half the water like a man crawling out of a desert. Pour the other half into a stone basin and take the first bath of my new life. The water turns brown-green almost instantly. The smell coming off me could qualify as a biological weapon. Clean at last. Mostly. Now for the fun part. I unwrap my leg bandage, scoop out a bowl of the 59 proof liquor, and pour it directly onto the infected wound. The pain hits me so hard I see stars. It feels like someone poured liquid fire into an open cut, which is basically exactly what just happened. I drink a bowl of the liquor too. The drunk status effect kicks in, intelligence drops by 2, but resistance goes up by 2. And just like that, the pain fades. Higher resistance literally turns down the pain dial. Science. Or magic. Same thing here, honestly. I stumble into the next cell, find a clean prison uniform, and put it on. I look down at myself. Prisoner outfit. Dungeon home. Chains on the wall. Stone bed. I'm literally living like an inmate in my own territory. I laugh at myself. Lord of the dungeon. Very prestigious. Booze. I smell booze. Give me a sip, please. The second I open that barrel of liquor, all 3 dwarves go absolutely feral. They're pressing their faces against the bars like zoo animals at feeding time. Monet's beard is practically vibrating. I'll do anything for a drink. Turns out gray dwarves are hardcore alcoholics. Booze is rare underground. They normally only get it when trading on the surface. I just accidentally discovered the most powerful weapon in diplomacy, a barrel of 59 proof liquor. I walk up to their cells with my best. Let's negotiate face. Monet offers to craft me armor from the soldier ant shell if I give him drinks. Interesting, but I don't have tools or materials set up yet. Then Oakshield just caves completely. My lord, I will join your army. Just provide weekly alcohol. A system prompt appears. Oakshield Ironrust wishes to join your army. Requires 1 liter of liquor per week. Accept. That was suspiciously easy. Is this a trick? A fake surrender? I accept anyway. His stats pop up. Level 2, Loyalty 60, Strength 7, Agility 6, Resistance 7. 2 population cost. He's still injured, but even wounded he's twice my strength. Loyalty 60 is barely passing, but it's something. I bring him a cup of liquor. I hope you're actually worth this drink. Grey dwarves are born warriors, my lord. I will fight for you. He takes a tiny sip, savors it, then chugs the whole thing. Good stuff. Haven't had anything this strong in ages. Loyalty jumps to 65. Fulfilling their needs raises loyalty. Good to know. The way to a dwarf's heart is through his liver. I unlock his cuffs and let him out. He stands before me, barely 1.3 meters tall, built like a fire hydrant made of muscle. He drops to 1 knee and swears loyalty. I've got my first real melee fighter. I try the same pitch on Monet and Copperbeard. Hard no. You're too weak. Frankly, I see 0 potential in you. I will never betray the Ironrust clan. Grey dwarves do not submit. They're banking on their scattered teammates finding Monet's trail markers and coming to rescue them. Fair enough. They'll keep marinating in those cells while the taming dice rolls every morning. I'll make a mental note. Oakshield switched sides for booze. That means his loyalty is powered by alcohol, and anyone who offers better booze could flip him back. I need to keep the supply controlled. After an hour's rest, the drunk status wears off. The fairy amulet healed me back to full HP, 90 out of 90. That passive regeneration is a miracle. Best trade I ever made. I head out with 3 eyeballs and my new dwarf buddy. Today's plan: explore toward the underground river. And immediately I notice the difference having a real fighter makes. I stroll behind Oakshield like a VIP while he and the eyeballs handle the egg smashing. He chops through clusters with his axe while the eyeballs blast everything in sight. I just walk and collect coins. The eggs are hatching faster now. Almost half of them have mobile larvae inside. By tomorrow, there'll be swarms of baby ants everywhere. I need to clear everything within a 1-kilometer radius today. We run into a soldier ant. 2.5 meters long, black armor gleaming, jaws snapping. Get him! Oakshield charges in without hesitation. He's short, shorter than the ant, but he swings his axe into its jaw and sparks fly off the shell. He rolls under a spike leg, pops back up, and hammers the head. I circle behind and slash at its back. The eyeballs pump psychic beams from range. 5 minutes. That's all it takes. Yesterday, this same fight nearly killed me. Today, with one dwarf, it's a casual warm-up. The power of having a real frontliner is ridiculous. We keep exploring, and the underground world opens up into something genuinely breathtaking. They call it the Underdark. Caves twist and branch in every direction. Some caverns are so tall I can't see the ceiling. Others are so narrow I have to turn sideways. There are stalactite formations dripping water into streams that flow deeper underground. Stone bridges spanning bottomless chasms. Glowing blue mushrooms as tall as houses, 7 meters high. Oakshield teaches me which mushrooms are edible and which ones will kill me. Useful dwarf. Worth every drop of liquor. We reach the underground river after about an hour. No eggs near the water. The riverbank is clear for 20 meters in every direction. Oakshield warns me there are dangerous giant lizards in the water and worse things downstream. I follow his advice and head upstream where the eggs are denser. More eggs means more larvae. More larvae means more gold. By noon, I've earned 355 gold coins from one morning of grinding. The larva population explosion is actually a gold mine, literally. Surface players can't possibly farm this fast because their monster density is way lower. For once, being stuck underground in bug territory is actually an advantage. I sit down by the river and eat lunch, watching my dwarf chug water from his helmet and my eyeballs float silently overhead. Day 2. I have a working army now, 1 alcoholic dwarf, 5 psychic eyeballs, and a passive healing necklace. Things are looking up. My lord, look what I found. Oakshield runs to a corner and comes back cradling a handful of weird mushrooms. They're palm-sized, covered in brownish-red scales, and unlike everything else down here, they don't glow. Scale-capped mushrooms. Can we eat them? Absolutely not. Deadly poison. But on the surface? These are worth a cart full of wine. They're essential for brewing clarity potions, nearly impossible to grow even for master druids. And there's no substitute in alchemy. My eyes turn into gold coins. What's the catch? These mushrooms attract burrowing worms. Trust me, you do not want to meet those. Half a meter as babies, dozens of meters as adults, covered in spikes, mouth full of 1,000 teeth that chew through metal. They hide underground and drag you down when you walk over them. I look at the ground beneath my feet with sudden intense suspicion. There's evidence of a battle here. Wet ground, scattered limbs. Looks like the cave demons wandered into worm territory, fought, and won. Lucky for us, the worms are already gone. Oakshield carefully picks every mushroom and hands them over. He doesn't know what to do with them, but says the drow in a place called Black Moss City would buy them for good money. How far is Black Moss City? About 100 kilometers. Tens of thousands of drow live there. They've got merchant districts, adventurer guilds, the whole package. It's open to outsiders as long as you follow their laws and don't offend their spider goddess Lolth. Sounds reasonable. It's not. Drow are naturally evil, selfish, cruel, and spectacularly sneaky. I strongly advise against dealing with them, my lord. So they're underground dark elves who worship a giant spider. Got it. Adding to my avoid if possible list. We keep following the river for another hour and spot something through the mushroom forest. A small settlement with crude buildings, smoke rising from chimneys, and the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith hammer. There's a sign at the gate. Lane's camp. 2 jackalmen guards block us at the entrance. They're covered in fur, their mouths stink like rotting meat, and their eyes glow with predatory light. 5 gold per head. Entry fee, for what? Protection. We guarantee your safety inside, body and property. 5 gold. Fair deal. I pay 25 coins for my whole group and walk in. This is my first time seeing a real market since arriving in this world. It's filthy, cramped, and loud. Vendors shouting everywhere. suspicious eyes tracking us from every shadow. The camp is less than 12 kilometers from my dungeon and holds maybe 100 people, including visitors. Nobody cares about me in my prison uniform or the dwarf beside me. Everyone is staring at my 3 eyeballs. Apparently, eye demons are rare enough to be a spectacle. I head straight to an alchemy shop run by a male goblin. I pull out the mushrooms. "You buy these?" The goblin pushes up his glasses, examines them with those beady little eyes, and says in a squeaky voice, "These only sell for good money in Black Moss City. Here, best I can do is 200 gold per 100 grams. I turn around and walk away without a word. "Wait, they're fresh. I'll give you 260. I keep walking. "Hold on. 280. Walking. 300. "I can discuss 300. If Oak Shield hadn't warned me beforehand that these sell for 500 gold per 100 grams, I'd have been completely swindled by this little green con artist. I turn around. "For 100 gold. Final price. You ship them to Black Moss City, you'll still profit." The goblin goes quiet, then sighs. "Fine, but I'll throw in 20 extra gold if you tell me where you picked them. I cleaned out the whole patch. There's nothing left for you. That's my problem, not yours. Deal." Total haul. For 189 grams of mushrooms. 1,956 gold coins plus the 20 for the location tip. 1,976 gold. The goblin tries to sell me his potions afterward, but none of them trigger system descriptions. Through observation, I figured out that the system only displays stats for items at white quality or above. If something doesn't show a panel, it either doesn't meet minimum quality standards or has been watered down or loaded with side effects. The goblin's potions might not be outright fakes, but the system doesn't approve of them. Hard pass. On my way out, I pass the slave market. People tied to wooden posts with ropes while drow and gray dwarves browse them like livestock. "Look at those rotten teeth. He's clearly unhealthy. Knock off 200. His teeth aren't great, but he works hard. The fur quality is terrible. Too dark. This minotaur's hooves are cracked, and he's too skinny. Bad condition." I stand there watching people haggle over living beings the same way I'd argue over a used car. The Underdark is a charming place with charming customs. The slave market is wild. Vendors are hawking kobold miners, pretty drow manservants on clearance sale, and goblins marketed as pet food. Dragons love them. This place is basically a fantasy Costco for terrible people. I'm browsing when something in a covered iron cage roars so loud I nearly jump out of my prison uniform. A gray dwarf merchant slides over with a salesman grin. "Good eye, customer. Check out this manticore." He yanks off the black cloth, and there it is, a massive red-maned lion with a scorpion tail, crammed into a cage way too small for it. The tail is tied to the bars. It's licking a wound on its side, head twisted awkwardly, eyes burning with rage. My talent fires. Level 5, Strength 12, Agility 8, Resistance 10. First creature I've seen that breaks past 10 in any stat. Even wounded and starving. This thing radiates pure, "I will kill everything you love" energy. My heart starts racing. I have a taming dungeon. Every day I get a dice roll to break down resistance. What if I could tame this? Oakshield grabs my arm. "My lord, don't. Manticores can only be domesticated if raised from birth. Once they're past age 2, wild instincts take over permanently. This one was obviously caught in the wild. No druid alive could tame it." The merchant gets defensive. "Who says?" "With proper training. I'm from the Ironrust tribe. We raised manticores. I know what I'm talking about. Stay in your lane, Ironrust dropout. You don't get to talk here." Oakshield is turning red. "Scam someone else, but not my lord." I wave Oakshield down. "How much?" 2,000 gold. Bargain price. Oakshield explodes. "Robbery." Then my beautiful little alcoholic dwarf turns into a savage negotiation machine. This manticore's only use is selling it to Black Moss City's gladiator arena as disposable entertainment. They go through 2 or 3 a day. This one's fur is damaged, tail is withered, wouldn't fetch top price even there. 900 gold maximum. I offer 1,000. I'll keep it as a pet. RORR. The manticore is personally offended by the word pet. The goblins in the next cage start shaking. The merchant tries to get me to trade an eyeball as partial payment. Absolutely not. My floating psychic squids are not for sale. More haggling. The merchant drops to 1,200. I counter with 1,100 plus 5 kobold slaves thrown in for free. Kobolds sell for 60 gold each, Oakshield snorts. These are neutered kobolds. They're worth half that? I shrug. Kobolds are everywhere down here. I could just go catch my own. I'm offering 1,100 with 5 kobolds because you need fewer mouths to feed with the beast tide coming. Final offer. I can walk away. Deal. He spits it out like the word tastes bad. I walk away with a caged manticore on a wheeled cart, pulled by 5 kobold slaves on leashes. The merchant thoughtfully included a whip for motivating the kobolds. How considerate. What I don't see is the merchant behind me grinning from ear to ear after I leave. Turns out this manticore was a reject from Black Moss City's gladiator arena. Already used up, deemed not worth keeping. He bought it cheap hoping to resell, but got stuck with it during the beast tide. Every day he had to feed this thing expensive food to keep it looking sellable. He was about to take a massive loss. And then I walked in. The perfect sucker. Congrats on finding a buyer for that thing. The goblin vendor next door laughs. Praise the dark goddess. The merchant cackles. Yeah, well, joke's on him. He doesn't know about my taming dungeon. Normal people can't domesticate an adult manticore. But I'm not using normal methods. I'm using magical brainwashing dice. Different rules entirely. Probably. Hopefully. We'll see. With my remaining money, I go weapon shopping. I need a ranged option because my strength is pathetic and getting into melee range is basically suicide with extra steps. I pick out a blue-quality elven longbow. 500 gold. Made by a master bowyer in Black Moss City, 120-meter effective range, gives 1 agility. The embarrassing part, I couldn't pull back any of the hard bows. The drow shopkeeper watched me struggle with increasingly amused contempt as I failed bow after bow. I finally had to settle for a low-draw-weight beginner bow made from soft, sticky wood. It can punch through leather armor at 120 meters, which is decent, but the look that elf gave me will haunt my dreams. I grab a mushroom dinner at some food stall and head home with my crew. 3 eyeballs, 1 drunk dwarf, 5 kobold slaves, and 1 extremely angry manticore in a cage. Day 2 shopping trip total. Spent almost everything. Gained a bow, a big cat that wants to eat me, and 5 little lizard dog miners. I'm building an army out of clearance bin rejects and discount livestock. The great lord of the dark dungeon, everybody. On the walk home, I check the chat. 3 people from our channel are dead. 1 got attacked by nagas. 1 went griffin hunting and never came back. 3rd one just vanished. We started with 50, down to 47. Day 2 isn't even over. But then some genius drops the most useful post yet. Instructions for making bricks and cement from scratch. Dig clay, press it into molds, dry it, fire it in a kiln. Burn limestone for cement. He even posts blueprints for arrow towers, bunkers, and reinforced walls. Hand-built fortifications. This guy plays Minecraft in real life. Seal your door with cement before the beast tide. Great strategy. The builder's name is Zhang Nan, and he's selling materials. I send a friend request immediately. How much for cement and bricks? He takes 10 minutes to reply because apparently everyone messaged him at the same time. Sorry, sold out. But I can take pre-orders. 2 days delivery guaranteed. I've got 50 goblin workers running 12 kills. They sleep 4 hours a day and eat at their stations. Aren't you worried they'll revolt? Nah. I have a special unit, Frostwolf Overseers. They extend work hours by 20% and reduce rebellion by 40%. I decide not to ask about goblin labor rights. Not my department. Prices, 600 gold for a ton of cement with 4 tons of sand. 200 gold per cubic meter of bricks. He sends me free samples to test. A pound of cement and 10 bricks. My defense plan is taking shape in my head. My dungeon is built into a cliff face on high ground, so the back is solid rock. I only need to defend the front and sides. Ideally, I'd build a full wall with 2 bunkers and 2 arrow towers, but with limited time and workers, I'll settle for a chest-high wall curving around the front entrance like a miniature fortress gate. But then I remember, soldier ants can burrow. They'll just pop up inside my walls. I ask Zhang Nan about anti-burrowing defenses. Pour concrete trenches. You have that much concrete. I send him the soldier ant stats. He thinks for a minute, then says the magic word. Fire. He sends me info on blazite gel, a thick sticky fluid made by arsonists that self-ignites on contact with air and burns at 2,000 degrees continuously. Dig a trench around your base and fill it with blazite gel traps. They can't tunnel through an underground fire moat. Underground. Fire. Moat. 3 words I never imagined putting together, and now it's my primary defense strategy. Blazite gel runs 20 gold per bottle on the trading market. I'll buy 5 bottles for now. I get back to the dungeon and start organizing. The manticore goes into cell 5. It roars the entire time the kobolds wrestle the cage through the door. The 5 slave kobolds get leashed into cell 6. My dungeon is turning into a zoo. I number every room. Cell 1, my luxury suite, has a bed and a toilet. Living like a king. Cell 2, storage closet. Cells 3 to 4, the remaining gray dwarf prisoners. Cell 5, one extremely angry manticore. Cell 6, kobold slaves. 2 empty cells for future guests. 1 trading market room. I test Zhongnan's cement and brick samples. Solid quality. I wire him 200 gold as a deposit. The market has an arbitration system that punishes scammers, so I'm not worried about getting ripped off. I also buy 10 kilograms of food. Grain is cheap right now, 5 to 7 gold per kilo, because surface players have druids boosting crop yields and nobody has big populations to feed yet. Now for the second building slot. I have 2 options. I Demon Pillar, 5 eyeballs per week, costs 200 crystals, or Dark Burrow, 10 kobolds per week, costs 200 wood and 200 stone. Crystals are expensive. Wood and stone are dirt cheap on the trading market. Easy choice. I build the Dark Burrow. A dark tunnel appears in the back wall of the dungeon, and 10 kobolds crawl out like the world's ugliest assembly line. 100 gold for 10 fresh level, 1 workers with dark vision, mining skills, and, according to their description, trace amounts of dragon blood in their veins. Current dungeon population, 5 eyeballs, 1 gray dwarf warrior, 1 manticore that hates me, 15 kobolds, and 2 gray dwarf prisoners who also hate me. 5 days until the beast tide. Time to build a fire moat and a brick wall with an army of ankle-high lizard dogs. This is going to be tight. We pledge loyalty, my lord. Awaiting your orders. 10 kobolds crawl out of the dark burrow, sounding like they've been gargling gravel. Despite the name, kobold, which literally means doghead people, they look nothing like dogs. More like someone fused a rat with a lizard and gave it a raspy bark. They've got fine scales, rough cloth wraps, and each one has a candle on its head. A candle. On its head. I don't ask why. They come in different colors and sizes, like a disturbing grab bag. The first one out is small with purplish scales. I point at him. You're Dibbu now? You're in charge of all the kobolds, including the 5 slaves. Thank you for the name, my lord. I free the 5 slave kobolds from cell 6 and put them under Dibbu's command. Then I send the whole squad outside to dig a trench, 4 meters deep, 2 meters wide, around the dungeon entrance. I buy 10 pickaxes, 5 shovels, and 3 wheelbarrows from the trading market and hand them out. These little guys are born diggers. They tear into the rock like it personally insulted their mothers. Under Dibbu's squeaky management, a trench starts forming almost immediately. At this rate, 2 days to finish. Perfect timing. I watch for a while, then my eyelids start slamming shut. Stamina at 15. I'm about to pass out standing up. I tell Oakshield to supervise the kobolds and stumble back to my cell to sleep. No day or night down here. Just work until you collapse, sleep until you wake up, repeat. I wake up at 2 a.m., day 3. Full HP, 95. Full stamina, 120. The fairy amulet healed me completely overnight and bumped my max HP by 5. That necklace is carrying my entire existence. Taming dice roll. Monet rolled 6. Resistance drops from 89 to 74. Finally cracking, old man. Copperbeard rolled 5. Resistance drops from 62 to 52. Halfway there. Manticore rolled 2. Failed. Resistance stays at 75. The big cat is unimpressed by my magical brainwashing. For now, I eat some flatbread and ant meat, grab my elf bow, and head outside for target practice. Here's the thing. I've watched 3 people disappear from our chat channel. Dead. Gone forever. This isn't a game with respawns. If I die, I'm done. And with 4 strength, if anything gets close to me, I'm a dead man walking. My only real option is to stay far away and shoot things. So I shoot. And shoot. And shoot. The bow is light enough for me to pull. The drow shopkeeper said it's literally a children's toy bow. I'm a grown man shooting a kid's weapon, and I could not care less. Pride doesn't stop arrows. After 200 arrows, which is my physical limit before my arms shake too much to aim, I can hit a target at 20 meters about 8 times out of 10. Not great, not terrible. It's a start. I follow up with push-ups and squats because my body is embarrassingly weak. Even these basic exercises drain my stamina fast. Between concentrated archery and the workout, my energy bar empties quickly. Back to bed. The kobolds' work progress is incredible though. All the stone they dug out. The system classifies it as building-grade material, same quality as what I've been buying from the trading market. I literally paid gold coins for stone yesterday when my kobolds could have just dug it up for free. The Underdark has nothing. No food, no wood, no light. But it has unlimited rocks. Of course it does. The excavated dirt gets piled into a low wall. Later I can reinforce it with wood framing, then brick over the outside to create a solid barrier. It won't stop a tank, but for now it's better than nothing. Day 3, 9 p.m. 4 days and 3 hours until the beast tide. I wake up again. The muscle soreness from training is completely gone. Fairy amulet healed it while I slept. I'm starting to think this necklace is the single best thing that's happened to me since arriving. I take Oak Shield, 3 eyeballs, and 7 kobolds on an exploration run in the opposite direction from last time. The path is narrow. At one point, I'm squeezing sideways through a 200-meter rock crevice. Fewer eggs along this route, and many have already hatched. The larvae are growing up somewhere out there. I don't see them, which means they're gathering, massing, for days until they all go berserk. The clock is ticking. Something's moving in the dark. Something big. Something many. 12 adult soldier ants emerge from the shadows, followed by a swarm of 30-plus juvenile ants, each already a meter tall. Yesterday's babies are today's teenagers. They grow terrifyingly fast. Battle positions. My kobolds clutch their pickaxes and huddle together, whimpering little dog barks to hide their fear. Credit where it's due. Loyalty 80 means they don't immediately bolt. They want to bolt, but they don't. The ants charge. No hesitation, no tactics, just a wall of armored murder sprinting straight at us. The flanking ants spit acid, and 2 kobolds go down instantly, screaming and dissolving. Time for my secret weapon. I grab a bottle of blazite gel and hurl it into the densest cluster. Boom. The bottle shatters and liquid fire erupts everywhere. 2,000 degrees of, get away from me. The front ants try to charge through on momentum alone, but the gel splashes onto their shells, and they become running bonfires. The eyeballs fire psychic beams. One ant's leg snaps, it stumbles into the fire, and the flames swallow it whole. But these soldier ants are tanks. The burning ones still slam into my kobold line like speeding cars. The formation shatters. Kobolds go flying. One catches fire and rolls on the ground screaming. An ant's spike leg punches clean through a kobold's chest. Oak Shield charges in with his axe, wrestling a flaming ant. I throw another blazite bottle to split the enemy force in half. 4 ants on our side of the firewall. 8 ants plus all the juveniles stuck on the other side. I grab my bow and actually land a shot, straight through a soldier ant's head. Granted, I was aiming at the ant next to it, but a kill is a kill, and I'm counting it. I ditch the bow before I accidentally shoot Oak Shield and jump in with my cleaver. But we're losing. There are just too many. More ants burrow up from underground. Others circle around the fire. My front line is crumbling. If they reach the eyeballs in the back, it's over. Then, a warm light washes over everyone. Holy Spirit's blessing, strength 2, agility 2, duration 10 minutes. Power surges through my body. Someone out there just buffed my entire squad. I have no idea who, but I want to hug them. 2 ants break through to the eyeballs and discover that buffed eyeballs are not easy prey. Their tentacles crack like electrified whips, so hard they split the metallic shells open. I had no idea my little floating squids could hit that hard. Note to self, never underestimate the eyeballs. We stabilize. Then more magic comes from the darkness behind us. Divine Shield. All incoming damage reduced 20%. Stone Skin. Resistance 3 for 20 minutes. Purification. Poison status removed from everyone. Whoever is back, there is casting buff after buff like a one-person support team. I give a thumbs up into the darkness. I owe you my life, Mystery Caster. With the buffs stacking, Oak Shield and the surviving kobolds push forward. The eyeballs charge out aggressively. The ants start retreating. I hack through the juveniles one by one. clearing them out fast before they can grow any bigger. 4 or 5 adult ants escape with a handful of young ones. The rest are dead or charcoal. I spit blood and catch my breath. We won. Barely. A few kobolds are dead. Everyone else is chewed up. If those juveniles had been fully grown, we would have been wiped out. The ants are growing way too fast. Yesterday, they were half a meter. Today they're a meter. Tomorrow? I don't want to think about it. A figure emerges from the shadows behind us. I squint into the dark. It's a spider. A giant spider. About 1.6 meters tall. And sitting on top of it is a girl. White hair, white skin so pale it looks sick, bandages wrapped around her eyes. She looks maybe 15 years old, delicate and almost holy looking. Then she steps fully into the light, and I realize she's not riding the spider. She is the spider. Upper half, a beautiful young girl with silver white hair and an angelic face. Lower half, 8 massive spider legs. A spider girl, half saint, half nightmare. The top half looks like divine artwork. The bottom half looks like it crawled out of a horror movie. My brain short-circuits trying to process the contradiction. She's the one who saved us. The healer. The buffer. The reason my entire squad isn't ant food right now. And she's standing there in the dark, hesitating, like she's not sure if we're the dangerous ones. Hey, I call out. Come on out. Thank you for the help back there. She takes one more step into the light. I stare at her. She can't see me staring because her eyes are bandaged. I have so many questions. Final damage report from the ant battle. 8 adult soldier ants killed, 10 plus juveniles cleared. Cost, for kobolds dead. 2 bitten in half, 1 melted by acid to the face, 1 skewered through the chest by a spike leg. 180 gold coins earned. A warm light washes over me and my wounds start closing. The spider girl healed me. I'm sorry, she says, her voice soft and guilty. I ran out of energy. I couldn't heal everyone during the fight. Are you kidding? Without you, we'd all be dead. I'm Lu Yuan, local lord. You are, Lala Banray. From Black Moss City, Banray. That name sounds familiar. Wasn't my bow made by a Banray master bowyer? Then she drops the real reason she helped us. Please, I need to hire you. My sister Anna is in danger. We need to rescue her. She explains everything. She and her sister were being chased by attackers. They accidentally ran into the cave lord's territory and got caught in a 3-way brawl. Pursuers versus cave demons versus them. They escaped in the chaos, but got separated. Anna told Lala to follow this path for 15 kilometers to find a lizard man mercenary camp and bring back help. Have you been to this mercenary camp before? I ask. I grew up in Black Moss City. I've never left. You sure you're going the right way? There's only one path from where we split up to here. Here's the problem. I came from that direction. There's no lizard man camp there. Oakshield immediately chimes in. My lord, drow elves are famous for scheming and betrayal. This could be a trap. Lala's voice cracks. I'm not lying. I swear. So how are you planning to pay us for this rescue mission? I don't have any money. Her pale white face turns pink. Then how can I trust you? She bites her lip, struggling. If you won't help, just let me go. I'll find the mercenaries myself. Then she adds. The Black Moss City strike team fought the bugs near where my sister is. There should be dropped equipment from the battle. You can take everything. That's actually tempting. And honestly, I was going to explore in that direction anyway. Tomorrow the juveniles will be even bigger and exploration might be impossible. This is my last window. Fine. Lead the way. But if the enemies are too strong, we're running. No discussion. Thank you. I'll repay you someday. I promise. She offers to carry me on her spider body for speed. I climb on. It's surprisingly spacious back there, like riding a fuzzy platform. Except the surface has tiny bristles that poke through my prison uniform. She moves fast. The kobolds and Oakshield have to sprint to keep up. A bit bumpy, I mention. She tenses up completely. Sorry. I've never carried anyone before. We chat while riding. How do you see with your eyes bandaged? My spider body has 4 pairs of compound eyes. I can see in the dark. What happened to your actual eyes? My sister told me not to tell anyone. I drop it. Are you a drow elf? Yes. Why is your skin white when all other drow are dark-skinned? That's... we're here, she announces, clearly relieved to dodge the question. We've arrived at a massacre. The battlefield is horrifying. Bodies everywhere. Drow soldiers torn apart. One impaled on ground spikes and suspended in the air, Another reduced to just a right half. Broken longbows and swords scattered across the stone. Dead raptor-like creatures with shattered limbs. Cave demon corpses riddled with arrows, hacked to pieces. And in the center, the cave lord. 3 times the size of a regular soldier ant. Its body is split in two, still barely alive, oozing blood, legs twitching. A drow soldier is clamped in its jaws, long dead. This was a war, and nobody really won. Lala steps carefully over the bodies, calling softly. Sister? Anna? She keeps her voice low, afraid of attracting more enemies. I send the kobolds to fan out, collect dropped equipment, and report any survivors. I hop off Lala's back and approach the dying cave lord. There's an arrow buried 7 centimeters deep in its eye, an impossibly precise shot on a target the size of a coin, probably while it was moving. Whoever shot, that was terrifyingly skilled. I try to pull the arrow out and accidentally wake the thing up. It flings the dead drow from its jaws and swipes at me with its mandibles, but it's too wounded. The swing is slow and weak. I jump back, let the eyeballs pepper it with beams until it collapses, then flip my cleaver to saw mode and cut into its skull. The shell feels like metal. My hands go numb from the impact. I saw through the crack and stab its brain. Cave Lord killed. A glowing orb drops from the body. My heart races. I've seen people in the chat talk about equipment drops. I touch the orb. Hunting mark. Cave Lord skull. Red quality, red. That's 3rd tier. This must be amazing. Description: a commemorative trophy for killing a cave lord during Ant Week. While carried, all cave demons' hostility toward you increases by 99. It's a souvenir. A giant ant head trophy that makes every ant in the world want to kill me more. Other people get legendary swords. I get a novelty hat that paints a bullseye on my back. The skull shrinks to helmet size in my hands. I stare at it in disbelief. Thanks, universe. Really appreciate it. At least my troops leveled up. One eyeball hits level 3 with intelligence 9. Oak Shield reaches level 3 with strength 8. He's becoming a real powerhouse. The surviving kobolds didn't get experience because they were off searching instead of fighting. Lesson: you have to hit things to level up. Participation trophies don't exist here. Walking through the battlefield, I finally understand the scale of what happened here. Bodies and body parts stretch for hundreds of meters. The Drow Strike team was less than 100 soldiers, but they were elite. Full light armor, longbows, curved swords, riding raptor-like beasts. It didn't matter. The cave demons just had too many numbers. The narrow tunnels killed the cavalry's mobility. The formation got split apart, and the ants picked them off one by one. If this swarm hit MY Dungeon, I wouldn't last 5 minutes. We push deeper. Juveniles are crawling out of the ground now, attacking on sight. The kobolds handle them easily while the eyeballs punch holes through their soft shells from behind. Baby ants are still manageable. The adults are the nightmare. We hit a cliff edge, a sheer drop into darkness. I throw a blazite gel bottle over the side and watch it fall, and fall, and fall. The explosion is a tiny dot of light far below. That's at least 100 meters straight down into what's probably the main ant nest. No climbing gear, no way down. I turn back. I find Lala following blood trails through the dark, her 8 spider legs somehow stepping over every corpse with eerie precision. Her bandaged eyes can't see, but those red compound eyes on her spider body clearly work fine. Sister? Sister, where are you? La Lala, a weak voice from the shadows. Lala charges toward it and freezes. Anna is slumped against a stone wall, covered in blood, a gash across her face, 3 arrows buried in her chest and stomach. Right leg completely broken, bones sticking out. Why did you come back? I told you to find the mercenaries. I couldn't find them. I'm sorry. Lala is sobbing. It's okay. There's a camp called Lane's Camp down that path. Hide there. After the beast tide, try to reach the surface. No, wait. You can't go to the surface. Just hide. Find somewhere to hide. Lala pours healing magic into her sister. Warm light covers Anna's body. Nothing happens. It's useless, Anna whispers. I'm cursed. Incurable hex. Your healing can't work on me. Please, just go. I won't. I approach cautiously with my cleaver. A pillar of fire erupts from the ground directly at my face. Oak Shield tackles me sideways, and I barely dodge. My eyebrows feel singed. Sister, don't. He's the one who brought me here. Anna relaxes when she sees I'm human, not drow. She coughs an apology. My talent fires automatically. Level 18. Hero class. Strength 14. Agility 18. Intelligence 25. Even dying, this woman's stats are absurd. She's in a completely different league from anything I've encountered. I don't have much time, Anna says. We're both traitors to the drow. I want to make a deal. Protect my sister. I need to know the full story first. Anna sends Lala away and tells me everything. 3 years ago, Anna led a drow strike team deep underground and encountered something. She can't properly describe it. Mysterious. Overwhelmingly powerful. Half her team died. The survivors escaped, but were all infected with chaos residue. A plague from the previous era that turns living things into mindless monsters. It's supposedly what destroyed the last civilization. Anna killed all her surviving teammates to keep the secret. She says this casually, like she's describing what she had for lunch. Drow culture, everyone. She spent years secretly searching for a cure. Then Lala accidentally discovered the truth. I tried to kill her to silence her. My blood goes cold. But she told me she could help. She used a spell called disaster transfer and moved the chaos infection from my body into hers. Lala volunteered to absorb a civilization-ending plague from the sister who was about to murder her. After that, Lala slowly transformed. Her skin lost all color. Her lower body mutated into a spider. Every mutation brought soul-tearing agony. And through all of it, Lala's only words to her sister were, "I'm sorry. Can I still help you?" Anna's voice cracks as she remembers fragments. "Sister, will I become a monster? Sister, it's so dark. I'm scared. Sister, please don't worry about me. I just wanted to help." Anna swore to protect her after that. She kept Lala hidden outside the city, told everyone she was dead. To slow the chaos mutation, Anna secretly hunted drow spies, extracted their soul essence, and fed it to Lala disguised as medicine. It kept Lala stable, still half spider, but still herself. Does she know she's been consuming drow souls? No? I told her it was a potion I made. Eventually, their mother's political enemies discovered the secret. Their mother, the city council leader, sent elite troops to kill her own daughters rather than face the scandal. Anna led the pursuers into the cave demon nest. Mutual destruction. And now she's dying from an incurable curse. Without soul essence, will Lala become a monster? Yes. And you want me to find soul essence and keep her alive? I can teach you magic. That's my payment. She raises a blood-soaked hand. Silver-white light touches my forehead. Knowledge floods into my brain like someone downloaded files directly into my skull. Meditation slowly increases intelligence and max energy. Costs 1 energy per minute. Fire control, manipulate flames. Prerequisite for fire magic. 5 energy per minute. Mage hand, create a spectral hand. Strength based on intelligence. 20 energy per minute. Soul extraction, pull souls from fresh corpses and convert them to soul essence. Must be done within 1 hour of death. Costs 10 to 80 energy, depending on the soul's strength. I know these spells now. Every detail is printed in my memory. But knowing and doing are different things. It's like having the textbook memorized, but never having practiced. My actual casting would be slow and clumsy, like a child tracing letters. Anna hands me her magic notebook. Learn the 4 spells I gave you first. Then you can study new ones from this book. And please, respect magic. If you lose that respect, magic will destroy you. Then she says, Lala has a soul purification bottle. Take it from her. Use soul extraction on me after I die. That's the only thing I can still give her. Your apprentice. Please survive. She closes her eyes. Her face, finally healed by the death spell she cast on herself, looks peaceful. Beautiful even. She stops breathing. I stand there for a long moment. Then I do what she asked. I press my palm against her forehead and activate soul extraction for the first time. Dark energy swirls. Wind howls. Her soul pulls free. Murky, spinning, compressing into a glowing liquid. Red quality soul essence. Enough to keep Lala stable a little longer. I walk over to the girl. She's covering her face with both hands, crying silently. Your sister wants you to give me the soul purification bottle. She hands it over without hesitation. No suspicion. No questions. Complete trust from a girl who just lost the only person who ever protected her. Sister said to drink a sip when the pain comes back. I pour Anna's essence into the half-full bottle. I look at it for a long time. Then I hand the bottle back to Lala. Drink when it hurts. Tell me when it's running low. Thank you. Go say goodbye to your sister. Anna had cast that final spell, Dirge of the Morning Soul, to heal her body completely before dying. 10 minutes of full strength, then instant death. She chose to leave behind an intact body so her little sister wouldn't have to see her torn apart and broken. Even Drow, it seems, can love someone. Lala holds her sister's body and cries until there are no more tears left. Fire rises. Lala stands in silence. Anna's body turns to ash, drifting past the girl's face, carrying away her tears. For one moment, the Underdark feels almost gentle. Why burn her? I ask. It's the Drow funeral rite. To prevent necromancers from desecrating the body, Lala clasps her hands. May my sister's soul find the spider goddess and receive eternal peace. I keep my mouth shut. Eternal peace is going to be tricky since her sister's soul is currently in liquid form inside a bottle in my pocket. But some things you don't say out loud. What will you do now? I ask. I don't know. Sister told me to hide, but I don't know where to go. Want to join my territory? Huh? Why would you want me? If you don't want to, that's fine. I'll cause you trouble, I know. Anna told me everything. I don't care. Even if it means making enemies with Black Moss City, you're a powerful mage. I need you. And if Black Moss City wants to come knocking, let them come. But I'm infected with chaos residue. I know. Her voice breaks. Even if I turn into a monster, you won't mind? Honestly, the giant spider thing is pretty convenient. At least you can carry me around. She laughs through her tears. I am not a mount. I promised your sister I'd look after you. So, will you join me? She looks down at me. Literally down, because her spider body puts her at about 2.2 meters tall, and something in her expression shifts. Like a decision being made. Yes. A system prompt appears and my jaw nearly hits the floor. Lala Banray. Level 14. Hero Class. Loyalty 95. Strength 12. Agility 16. Intelligence 21. HP 170. Energy 500. 500 energy. My max is 120. She has 4 times my capacity. And her intelligence is 21, nearly triple mine. Her talent is called Sincerity. All healing and buff spells are 20% stronger, but her damage to enemies is reduced by 20%. And her skill list? Entirely support magic. Holy Spirit's Blessing, Divine Shield, Grand Shield, Stone Skin, Healing, Dispel, Purify, Disaster Transfer. Not a single offensive spell. A drow elf who literally cannot hurt anyone. In a culture that worships cruelty and power. No wonder they called her weak. Lala, are you really drow? I really am. Have you ever killed an enemy? And no. Sister never let me learn combat magic, so her head drops. I'm a failure as a drow, aren't I? Are you kidding? You're the best thing that's happened to me since I got here. A level 14 hero class support mage with 21 intelligence and 8 buff spells that boost my entire squad. She single-handedly turned a losing battle into a victory earlier. She's not a failure. She's a force multiplier. Time to go home. I gather up the kobolds and my eyes almost pop out of my skull. Every single kobold is carrying armfuls of drow weapons. Longbows, curved swords, equipment everywhere. The battlefield is covered in blue-quality gear, and my little lizard dogs have been shopping like it's Black Friday. The eyeballs are floating back with equipment wrapped in their tentacles. Oakshield is carrying the Cave Lord's skull on his shoulder like a trophy. Everyone is loaded up. And there's still more gear on the ground we can't carry. I need to make multiple trips. This is a gold mine. The weapon market in the player trading system is red hot right now. Most players spawn troops without gear and are desperate to arm them. A single blue weapon should sell for around 500 gold. I have dozens. The cream of the haul is a red quality bow, Ranger's Longshot, the Drow Strike Team Captain's personal weapon. 2 agility, 1 intelligence, and a skill called Piercing Cloud Arrow that fires a charged shot effective at 600 meters. One problem, requires 10 strength to equip. I have 4. Can't even pull the string. There's also a blue quality Ranger's soft armor. 1 agility, lightweight and agile. One problem, it's women's armor with 2 very obvious chest pieces molded in. Not my size. Both go to Lala. The bow fits her 12 strength perfectly. The armor was literally made for drow women. She blushes when I hand them over. Thank you. You're the only person besides my sister who's ever given me a gift. You don't have friends in Black Moss City. They all said I was too weak. No one wanted to be my friend. I don't think you're weak at all. You took a civilization-ending plague into your own body to save your sister. That's the bravest thing I've ever heard. She goes quiet for a while, walking ahead of me. Then she says softly, if you're tired, you can ride on my back. Consider it a return gift. I don't argue. I climb up onto her spider body and find a natural seat where the humanoid torso connects to the arachnid section. I lean back against her spider abdomen and let my legs dangle. My energy is at 12. 10 more points and I'll pass out. I close my eyes and let the fairy amulet slowly drip energy back in while Lala carries me home. Current dungeon population, 45 out of 100. 5 eyeballs, 1 drunk dwarf, 11 kobolds, 1 spider-girl hero, and 2 prisoners still being brainwashed. Plus 1 manticore who hates everyone. Current inventory, mountains of drow weapons to sell, a magic notebook to study. For new spells I can barely cast. 1 soul bottle, 1 commemorative ant head nobody asked for, and a defense plan that needs to happen in 4 days. Current emotional state, exhausted, grateful, and mildly terrified of everything that's coming. But for the first time since waking up on that cold dungeon floor, I feel like I might actually survive this. I post battle screenshots in the chat channel, and the reactions are immediate. Big boss, you got rich? Taking apprentices? Can I have a sword? I'm a college student. You could be a farm animal, and the answer's still no. Then my inbox explodes with private messages about buying gear. River Valley Fortress wants armor. Turns out his 75 musketeers have guns, but are wearing cotton shirts into battle. Paper-thin defense. He's been losing soldiers left and right because they die if anything breathes on them too hard. I tell him I've got about 100 sets of Drow Ranger soft armor, all damaged but reparable. He asks for screenshots. I send them. Is this women's armor? Just modify it. Grab a hammer, flatten the chest area, boom, breastplate. Same metal, different shape. What's the problem? You want it or not? I'll sell to the Wood Elf players instead. We negotiate. 20 sets of the better condition armor for 6,000 gold. Done. He adds me as a friend. His real name is Yue. I immediately send every available kobold running back to the battlefield to grab more equipment. Then I get the weirdest business inquiry of my life. Great cemetery. Bro, you selling corpses? Why do you want corpses? My resurrection pool turns bodies into skeletons and zombies. Drow and cave demon bodies both. Only vertebrates. Tested bugs already. No soldiers spawn from arthropods. We haggle. He starts at 10 gold per body. I refuse. The round trip to haul corpses back takes 2 hours, and I need my kobolds for other things. He keeps raising. 20, 30, then suddenly jumps to 100 gold per body. But only wants 10, complete, good condition, once. Something feels off. Your territory spawns undead for free. Why do you need premium corpses from me? I need special zombies. Special how? Good-looking ones. Are you saying, yes, I'm a corpse enthusiast, okay? I've been transported to another world. Is it wrong to appreciate well-preserved bodies? Mark my words. Everyone will be into corpse collecting eventually. I stare at my screen for a very long time. I type something. Delete it. Type again. Delete again. You know what? People have hobbies. The system assigns territories based on personality and interests. He got a graveyard. That tracks. But then, why did I get a dungeon? Could it be that I'm secretly Absolutely not. Moving on. 200 gold each, I reply. Little steep. 1,600 for all 10. Deal. And I'm listing them anonymously on the market. I want to buy anonymously too. I bet you do, buddy. After that, more deals come through for weapons and equipment. The bottleneck is my 13 kobolds. Each supply run takes 3 hours round trip with the carts. Production can't keep up with demand. Meanwhile, I discover that blazite gel prices have crashed. Too many players unlocked alchemy or recruited arsonist units, flooding the market. One batch of concentrate fills 20 bottles, and supply far outstrips demand. Price dropped from 20 gold to just 8 per bottle. Other lords are actually stopping production because it's unprofitable. Their loss, my gain. I sweep the market and buy 280 bottles. My purchase volume is small enough that it doesn't move the price. 280 fire bombs, stockpiled for the beast tide. If the ants want my dungeon, they're walking through an inferno first. With the first wave of equipment sales deposited, I finally have enough resources to upgrade my territory. Level 2 requires 500 gold, 500 stone, 500 wood. Stone. The kobolds have been mining non-stop. I have piles of the stuff. I feel stupid for ever buying stone when I'm literally surrounded by unlimited rock. Wood is cheap on the market. Gold is covered by sales. I open the handbook and hit upgrade. The entire dungeon starts shaking like an earthquake. Monet screams from his cell. Earthquake. Let us out. The manticore is stomping nervously. Lala stabilizes herself on 8 legs and rushes toward me. Kobolds are panicking everywhere. Calm down, I shout. Then the floor collapses. Not catastrophically, just a section of stone tiles falling away to reveal a staircase leading deeper underground. There was a hidden level beneath my dungeon this whole time. Dark Dungeon, Level 2. Durability, 2000, up from 500. Population cap, 400, up from 100. 3 new building slots unlocked. Next upgrade requires 5,000 gold and 2,000 anti-magic stones. That's going to take a while. The system helpfully informs me I'm the 45,732,915th player to reach level 2. So about 45 million players upgraded before me. I'm not exactly leading the pack. Some players are probably already at level 3. But I made a deliberate choice. Instead of rushing the upgrade, I spent money on slaves, equipment, and infrastructure first. A bigger dungeon means nothing if I don't have the troops and supplies to defend it. Now I have a level 14 hero mage, a dwarf warrior, 15 kobolds, 5 psychic eyeballs, 280 fire bombs, a weapons depot, a trading empire built on dead drow equipment, and an angry manticore whose resistance drops a little more every morning. For days until the beast tide. Clock's still ticking. But my dungeon just got 4 times tougher and my population cap quadrupled. The underground stairs are calling to me. There's a whole new floor to explore. Things are finally starting to come together. While I sleep, the kobolds hustle like underpaid delivery drivers and haul back all the equipment and corpses from the battlefield. Good little lizard dogs. 3 days and 6 hours until the beast tide. Morning taming dice. Monet rolled an 8. Maximum roll on the 8-sided dice. Resistance plummets from 74 to 44. The old slaver is finally cracking. A few more days and he'll be calling me boss, unironically. Copperbeard rolled a 3. Failed. Stuck at 52. Bad luck today, buddy. Manticore rolled a 5. Success. Resistance drops from 75 to 65. The big angry cat is slowly starting to think maybe I'm not so bad. Or maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome. Either way, progress. Equipment and corpse sales clear, and my balance hits 7,850 gold. I'm actually rich for the first time since arriving. New building options unlocked with my level 2 dungeon. 3 slots available. Demon Pillar, 5 eyeballs per week. Costs 200 crystals. Bird Tower, 7 harpy units per week. Costs 200 stone, 100 crystals, 100 wood. Armory, craft weapons and armor with blueprints. Costs 500 steel, 500 stone. Medical room, sterile space for surgery and research. Costs 1,000 crystals. Medical room is interesting. Why would a fantasy world with healing magic need a sterile surgical suite? Something weird about that. But at 7 gold per crystal, that's 7,000 gold just for the building materials. Hard pass for now. The armory needs 500 steel at 10 gold per unit. 5,000 gold. Can't afford it either. So I build the Demon Pillar and the Bird Tower. I head down the newly revealed staircase to the 2nd floor. It's the same size as above, but completely empty. The Bird Tower is built into the western wall like a stone loft. The Demon Pillar is something else entirely. It's a flesh column connecting floor to ceiling, pulsing and writhing like a giant intestine, with an enormous bloodshot eyeball in the middle. This thing isn't a building. It's alive. New eyeballs literally bud off its surface through some kind of biological cell division. I watch 5 fresh eyeballs slowly peel away from the pillar like the world's most disturbing birth video. The Bird Tower spits out 7 harpies. They flutter down and land in front of me. We pledge loyalty, my lord, harpies. Level 1. Agility 9, highest of any unit I have. They love rotting meat, can smell corpses from a kilometer away, and their main attack is scratching enemies' eyes out. Their special skill is rapid return. After diving to attack, they accelerate back to their original position. Hit and run specialists. They are also spectacularly ugly. Gray-brown feathers everywhere, fuzzy gray faces, and completely bald on top, with saggy head skin like vultures. Their arms are their wings, spanning 3 meters when spread. Built as light as possible for flight. Small, skinny, and mean. How long can you stay airborne? 10 minutes in still air, 1 hour in wind. Range in 10 minutes? About 4 kilometers. Can you carry things while flying? Up to 20 kilograms. Can you wear armor? Not recommended, my lord. Our wings are our biggest target. We survive by flying fast enough that nothing hits them. Armor adds weight, slows us down, and makes wing injuries more likely. One damaged wing, and we're grounded. Useless. Fair enough. They're glass cannon assassins with a built-in escape button. Dive in, claw the enemy's face, zip back to safety. Repeat. I like it. Current army composition: 13 kobolds, frontline meat shields, and miners. 10 eyeballs, ranged psychic artillery, 2 level 3, 3 level 2, 5 fresh recruits. 7 harpies, high-speed dive bombers. 1 gray dwarf, melee damage dealer. 1 spider-girl hero, healing and buffs for the whole squad. 1 lord me. Sitting on the spider-girl, shooting a children's bow, trying not to die. Zhongnan's cement and sand delivery arrives. After paying the balance, I'm down to 1,600 gold. I don't need to buy healing potions anymore since Lala handles that. Instead, I hunt for 2 things: energy recovery gear and spatial storage equipment. Spatial storage doesn't exist on the market. Either this world doesn't have pocket dimensions, or everyone who has one is hoarding it. So my kobolds keep hauling everything by hand, like medieval moving companies. But I find an energy recovery item. Arcane necklace. Blue quality. Made by an elf named Miranda. Once per day, restores 35 energy to all friendlies within 20 meters. That's a massive team-wide energy refill, especially for Lala, who burns through her 500-point energy pool, keeping everyone buffed and healed. I haggle the seller down to 630 gold and buy it. Now it's construction time. No more exploring. The juvenile ants are growing fast. Rustling sounds echo through every tunnel, getting louder every hour. Going outside now would be suicide by ant swarm. My plan for the remaining 3 days: build the wall, dig the trench, fill it with fire, practice archery, and pray. The fortress defense lineup is set. Kobolds hold the wall. Eyeballs provide covering fire. Harpies dive bomb anything that breaks through. Oak shield plugs gaps in melee. Lala buffs everyone from the back, and I command from spider back while taking potshots with my kitty bow. Oh, and somewhere in a cell, a manticore is slowly forgetting why it hates me, and 2 gray dwarf prisoners are inching closer to becoming employees. 3 days. That's all I've got. Let's build. The dungeon exterior looks like a construction site exploded. Kobolds are digging trenches shovel by shovel. Harpies are flying back and forth carrying cement buckets in their talons, then using those razor-sharp claws to mix cement, sand, and gravel like terrifying industrial mixers. Eyeballs are laying bricks with their tentacles. One tentacle holds a brick, another smears cement, stack, and repeat. My little monsters are surprisingly good at manual labor. I supervise from the side, and since I've got a free moment, I pull out my bow to practice. Mississippi. I stare at the untouched target 20 meters away. I haven't touched the bow in 1 day, and my accuracy already dropped. Archery is cruel like that. My lord, that's not how you shoot. Lala is standing next to me holding the red quality Ranger's longshot, the captain's bow that requires 10 strength to even pull. She draws it effortlessly with one hand, her silver-white hair tied back, expression completely serious. She holds the bow sideways. Not vertically like every archery manual ever written says. Sideways, with her eyes bandaged shut. The arrow hits dead center. The bowstring is still humming when she lowers it and says, "See? Easy." I point at a purple mushroom roughly 80 meters away. In my vision, it's the size of a firefly. Can you hit that? Sideways grip. No aiming. No pause. The mushroom gets pinned to the stone wall. Ow. She tilts her head like a confused puppy. You just do this, then let go. The arrow hits. Is it hard? Yes. Yes, it is hard. You learned archery in 2 days from your sister, and you're sniping mushrooms at 80 meters blindfolded with incorrect form. This isn't skill, this is racial cheating. Is archery a drow racial talent? She smiles sweetly. Sister always said drow are born knowing how to shoot. Mystery solved. It's genetic. I physically cannot learn whatever she's doing. Back to grinding the normal way. Let me help you, she offers. She lowers her spider body flat to the ground and reaches around me from behind, her hands covering mine on the bow. She's so tall that even crouched down, I have to stand on my tiptoes and crane my neck up to align my eyes with the arrow. Something soft is resting on top of my head, and I choose not to think about what. Focus, she reminds me from above. Her hands are rock steady. No breathing shake, no muscle tremor. My bow feels like it's mounted on a tripod. For the first time, the arrow flies exactly where I'm looking. Remember this feeling, she says. I'll try. Though I suspect the feeling is less about archery technique and more about having a pretty girl wrapped around me. Hard to separate the two variables. Very unscientific. Meanwhile, across the world, my business partner Yue, River Valley Fortress, is having his own problems. He's assembled 500 musketeers in 3 days, drilling them in formation on a parade ground. His hero unit Lawrence watches the sloppy ranks with open contempt. You expect these clumsy musketeers to shoot down a beast horde? Forgive me, sir, that's naive. His artillery test fires a cannon. The shot lands 20 meters from the target cart. Not great. Lawrence suggests training knights instead. Yue sighs. A single suit of full-plate armor costs 600 gold. Horses cost even more. His fortress can't afford an elite cavalry unit. Not yet. Numbers over quality for now. Then Lawrence brings up the topic Yue really doesn't want to discuss. Speaking of armor, did you manage to fix those damaged women's suits you bought? The 20 sets of Drow Ranger soft armor. My armor. The ones I told him to, just hammer flat. Turns out the chest pieces are made of leather with elastic properties. The blacksmith hammers them down, they spring right back up. 20 soldiers were forced to wear them by lottery. The losers look like they're attending their own funerals. Morale has cratered. Rumors are spreading through camp that the Lord has unusual preferences. Yue deeply regrets buying those armors from me. In fairness, the protection is solid. Block strikes under 8 strength and shrapnel from 15 meters. It's genuinely good gear. It just looks like what it is. Women's armor. On very unhappy men. Sorry about that, buddy. No refunds. He moves on to actual war preparation. Bayonets are being welded onto muskets. Can't make them detachable yet, and they break after about 10 stabs, but it's something. His 2nd Battalion has built 8 bunkers and dug 2 kilometers of circular trenches around the fortress perimeter. Finish fortifications by dawn tomorrow, Yue orders. And flip all the soil in the surrounding area. Clear every ant egg. Everyone's building walls and digging trenches. Everyone's watching the clock. The ants are coming, and nobody feels ready. Breathe. Control the breathing. Every exhale needs to be long and steady. My hands are slippery with sweat on the sword grip. My arms are shaking so badly the blade is wobbling like a drunk compass needle. I'm holding an elegant elven longsword. 1.2 meters of sleek, graceful craftsmanship designed for the refined warrior. I am not a refined warrior. I am a sweaty physics nerd getting absolutely demolished by a blind teenage spider girl holding a wooden stick. Lala stands 3 meters away, breathing normally, one hand casually gripping a plain wooden rod in front of her chest like an impenetrable wall. Every slash, every thrust, every angle I try, she deflects it without breaking a sweat. She looks like she's doing light stretching while I'm dying of exhaustion. I try to get creative, circle around, close the distance, fake a slash, and convert to a thrust at her midsection. She flicks her wrist and bats my sword aside like swatting a fly. I drop and roll across the ground, pop up at her flank, swing hard. She turns calmly, plants her stick in the exact path of my blade, and blocks it with a clack. I redirect mid-swing into a beautiful feint, turning the chop into a stab aimed at her chest. Naughty, she murmurs. One upward sweep of the stick, and my sword goes wide. I'm completely exposed. The stick comes screaming down at my forehead. I can't dodge. My body has hit its limit. My brain screams move, but my muscles just send back an error message. The stick stops 3 centimeters from my skull. My lord, rolling around on the ground and stealing cheap shots isn't real swordsmanship. You can't fight like that. But I almost got you several times, she shakes her head gently. Those times when you were rolling? I chose not to kick you. You were completely open. On a real battlefield, you'd be dead the moment you hit the ground. But that's different from the Cinderlord's sword fighting technique I learned. What's the Cinderlord technique? I put on my most serious face. It's the legendary art of dodging at the last millisecond, stealing hits during recovery frames, kiting back and forth, and killing gods without taking damage. Lala giggles. Gods would never die to something like that. Listen, it worked on Pontiff Sullivan. But I don't think Dark Souls references translate well here. I switch tactics. I cup my palm and concentrate. A tiny fireball sputters to life in my hand, and I chuck it at Lala's waist. Her eyes, well, her bandages, narrow. She slaps the fireball apart with her bare hand, like popping a soap bubble. If that's all you've got, it's not nearly enough. I've been practicing fire magic since Anna taught me the spells. Under Lala's coaching, I can now form a flame in my palm and keep it stable. But the moment I throw it, most of the energy dissipates. It arrives as a warm suggestion rather than an actual weapon. To keep the fireball powerful after release, you need to wrap it in a shell of magical energy. Like this, she demonstrates. A flame spirals in her palm, compresses into a tight spinning ball, and she hurls it at a rock 50 meters away. It detonates, blowing a crack into the stone. Lala, you can use fire magic too? But it's not in your skill list. She tilts her head. Is a fireball considered a skill? I don't think so. I used to play with these as a kid, right? For real mages, fireballs are like breathing. So basic, they don't even qualify as a named ability. Meanwhile, I'm over here struggling to make a candle. We practice fire magic all afternoon until my energy is nearly empty. My fireballs are functional, good enough to annoy someone, maybe surprise them. But in raw damage, my saw cleaver still hits harder. Magic is a long-term investment. The ceiling is infinitely higher than a blade, but right now I'm still on the ground floor. After training, Lala settles beside me and hands me a water pouch. I drink like a man who's been fighting the desert itself. Lala, you look so small and delicate up top. How are you this strong? Every time you block, my hands go numb. She wiggles one of her 2-meter spider legs. Small? Me? I meant the upper half. You look like a little girl, she smiles. Because I am young. I'm only 32. For Drow, that's still a child. Must be nice being a long-lived species. Centuries to master every skill. Her smile fades a little. Actually, Drow don't live very long in practice. Every day you're dodging assassination attempts, betrayals, and battles. The old, the weak, and the sick get sacrificed to the spider goddess Lolth. Only the strongest survive. And those who do? They party and indulge without limits because tomorrow might be the end. Are you like that too? She pumps a tiny fist. Absolutely not. My hero is Drist Duerden. I want to go out into the world and fight for justice like he did. Who's Drist? Her eyes. Well, her bandage area literally lights up. He's the forbidden name in the Drow capital, Menzoberranzan. He learned magic at 10, became a ranger at 15, killed an evil Medusa at 18, left the Underdark at 30, and defeated a cloud giant. She rattles off his adventures like a superfan at a convention. Through her enthusiastic storytelling, I piece together a lot about Drow society. Females hold all the power as priestesses of Lolth. Males are toys or cannon fodder. Even the most talented male wizard ranks below the worst female priestess. Male Drow survive by groveling and flattering. Drist rejected all of it and escaped, making him simultaneously a legend and a disgrace. Tell me about Menzoberranzan. She's never been there, but she knows the legends. It's Loltha's holy city, built inside the largest cavern in the Underdark, draped in spider silk, housing 1 million Drow. 8 noble family matriarchs rule through a council. Black Moss City, Lala's home, belongs to one of those 8 families, House Banray. That's concerning. Lala isn't just some random Drow refugee. She's the daughter of one of the 8 ruling families of the most powerful Drow civilization in the Underdark. I ask about the Drow political factions. 3 main groups. The Return faction wants to invade the surface. The Expansion faction wants to conquer all of the Underdark. The Lolth faction just wants to wait for their goddess's orders. Lolth faction dominates. But here's the thing. The spider goddess hasn't answered any prayers in a long time. Some say she abandoned the Drow last era. Are the other gods still around? After the twilight of the gods in the Third Era, most powerful deities were sealed or destroyed. After the Chaos Plague in the Fourth Era, the remaining gods went silent. This Chaos Plague, is it the same thing as your Chaos Residue? The chaos plague was a world-ending catastrophe. Everything it infected lost its mind and became a monster. It swept the entire world and ended the Fourth Era. Chaos residue is just the leftover traces still lurking in dark corners. But civilization survived, which means someone found a cure. And if they did it once, we can do it again. I'll find a way to heal you, Lala. Thank you, my lord. A notification pops up. Drow intelligence collected, 21%. My talent needs 60% to convert damage to true damage. I'm a third of the way there, just from conversations. Every chat with Lala is technically combat research. So to summarize today's training results, my swordsmanship is trash, my fireballs are pathetic, my archery is mediocre, and a 32-year-old blind spider girl could kill me 17 different ways before I finished blinking. But I'm learning. Slowly, painfully. And as long as I keep learning, I keep surviving. 2 days and 4 hours until the beast tied. Taming dice. All 3 hit today. Monet drops to 34, Copperbeard to 42, Manticore to 60. At this rate, Monet will be pledging loyalty by next week. The grumpy old slaver is running out of stubbornness. I'm woken up by a scout report. Visitors outside the wall. I rush out and stop dead in my tracks. There's a mech standing at my barricade. A 2-meter-tall walking machine with a pumpkin-shaped body, 2 long mechanical legs, steam pipes venting from the back, and its arms have been replaced with a circular saw and a saw sword. Sitting in the cockpit is a goblin. Steampunk. In a fantasy dungeon world. My brain needs a moment. I position myself behind the barricade with Lala covering me from the side, eyeballs manning every arrow slit in the dungeon. If this goes sideways, we're ready. Who are you? What do you want? The goblin in the mech shouts back. No hostility here. Just traitors. He waves, and 6 more goblins come around the corner pushing carts loaded with goods. 7 total. What's in the carts? The lead goblin on foot introduces himself as Babu, rips the cover off without hesitation. Goblin bombs, light cannons, black powder, and kerosene. We want food. Goblin bombs? Let me inspect one. Sure, but prove you've got real food first. Don't try to pass off bug meat. I send out 2 kobolds pulling a cart loaded with flour bags and beef jerky. Bought the flour from River Valley Fortress and the jerky from Tent Camp, both at friendship prices. Food is cheap on the surface market, and I've actually got a surplus stored up. I walk out with Lala to meet them. 3 of us nod at each other from 5 meters apart. Me, Gavi in the mech, and Babu on foot. Lala grips her bow nervously behind me. The goblins eye her with suspicion. Gavi uses his circular saw arm to slice open a flour bag and inspects it. Nods to Babu. I pull out a strip of beef jerky and toss it to a kobold. Eat it. The kobold's eyes light up like Christmas. He stuffs it in his mouth before I can change my mind. Chewing so hard drool is running down his chin. We all wait 15 minutes. The kobold doesn't drop dead. The goblins relax. Gavi tears off a strip and chews. Delicious. You humans really know how to eat. Haven't had beef in ages. Babu dips a finger in the flour and licks it. Freshly ground wheat. I can't believe I'm finding this stuff down here. Now my turn to inspect. I walk to their cart, and they back up 5 steps. Standard trade etiquette. Avoid misunderstandings. Smart people. Goblin bomb. Blue quality. Crafted by goblin alchemists and engineers. Blast radius. 8 meters lethal, 20 meters shrapnel. Can be set as a pressure-triggered mine or given a 5 to 10 second timer. Art is explosion, reads the description. These goblins are my kind of people. Babu offers a free sample. Test 1. On the house, he shows me how to arm it. I set the timer to 10 seconds, toss it into the trench my kobolds dug, sprint away, and hit the dirt with my hands over my ears. Boom. The trench bottom erupts. Rocks and soil fly skyward. A 3-meter crater appears where the bomb landed. I pat my chest, heart hammering. That's good. That's really good. Goblin made, guaranteed quality. Babu beams. How much? 6,000 gold for the full cart. That's steep. But then Babu adds, we'll take food instead. Cheaper that way. I throw out a lowball offer expecting to negotiate. 1 bag of flour for 10 bombs. 1 gene of beef jerky for 20 bombs. I'm already calculating how insulting this price is when Babu's eyes go wide. And before I can correct myself, he practically screams, deal, deal. Both carts. Take them all. Push the food over here. I freeze. Did I? Accidentally lowball so hard that it came back around to being a great deal? These goblins haven't eaten real food in God knows how long. Down here, flour and beef are luxury goods. I paid almost nothing for provisions that, to these guys, are worth more than explosives. Whatever. Don't question a win. Both sides got what they wanted. Final count, 210 goblin bombs. For the price of some flour and jerky, I bought at wholesale rates from surface players. That's enough explosives to turn the entire ant army into confetti. I eye the light cannons on their other cart. Small, arm-length barrel, bowl-sized bore, fires stone balls with black powder up to 50 meters. I'd love those. Babu shakes his head. The cannons and kerosene are pre-ordered by Lane's camp. Can't sell those. Fair enough. 210 bombs plus 280 bottles of blazite gel is already a respectable arsenal. A thought crystallizes in my head. I could become a middleman. Buy cheap food from surface players, sell it underground for weapons and rare materials. The price gap between the surface economy and the Underdark economy is enormous. Everything the surface has too much of, the underground is starving for. And everything the underground produces, crystals, rare mushrooms, exotic metals, the surface players would pay premium for. I might have accidentally stumbled into the most profitable trade route in the entire game. But first, survive the beast tide. 2 days, 210 bombs, 280 fire bottles, a brick wall, a trench, and a very motivated army of uglies. Let them come. Is this mech for sale? I can't help myself. I'm staring at the walking machine like a kid in a toy store. This thing is 2 meters of steampunk glory, circular saw on one arm, saw sword on the other, metal plating gleaming, steam venting from exhaust pipes on the back. It looks like something that should be fighting kaiju. Babu puffs up with pride. This is the humanoid logging mech, the crown jewel of goblin engineering. We need it for the return trip, but I can take a pre-order. Fair warning though, every part is handmade, so it's not cheap. How much? 20,000 gold. I nearly choke on my own spit. What? For a valued customer, I can offer a used model at 18,000. 1-year warranty included. I counter at 10,000. He says the Steam core alone costs 7,000 to build. There's no way to make the math work. Then I get a bigger idea. Can you modify the design? I want a full-body mech suit. Something a human can wear. Babu shakes his head sadly. Since the Goblin Kingdom fell, we've basically lost the ability to invent new things. Modern goblins can only build from ancient blueprints we dig up or simple machines passed down through generations. Designing new mechanical layouts, calculating weight distribution, integrating weapon systems. Our engineers can't do that anymore. Gavi, the mech pilot, gets a faraway look. The old Goblin Kingdom was magnificent. We built flying fortresses. We developed 100-meter-tall apocalypse mechs. But then we touched forbidden divine knowledge, and the gods punished us. Our intelligence was permanently sealed. The survivors fled underground to scratch out a living in the dirt. All 7 goblins sigh in unison. You can tell they're genuinely proud of their ancient civilization, even if all they have left are stories and salvaged blueprints. If your intelligence is sealed, can you still do any research? I ask. Gavi explains that intelligence itself isn't the main barrier, it's the system. The Goblin Kingdom had an entire education pipeline, research institutions, development frameworks. When the kingdom collapsed, all of that infrastructure was destroyed. Now individual goblin engineers are scattered across the Underdark, only functional when attached to some guild or workshop. So theoretically, if someone organized a bunch of goblin engineers into a proper team, then yes, theoretically, new inventions would be possible. My brain is already spinning. If I could recruit enough goblin engineers, give them a workshop, rebuild a basic R&D system, I could arm my kobolds in powered armor. Turn tiny lizard dogs into miniature space marines. The mental image alone makes my heart race. Why not just stay here? I offer. I'll buy the mech and hire you all as operators. Your return trip is dangerous anyway with all the ants. Babu turns me down. We appreciate it, but our people are starving. They're counting on this food delivery. Their mushroom farm was raided by cave demons. 8 out of 10 crops destroyed. The ants are eating everything in the Underdark, every mushroom, every food source. The goblins had to risk this dangerous trading expedition just to keep their tribe alive. Can you survive the beast tide? I ask. We made a deal with the Myconid king, The mushroom people. Our tribe is temporarily migrating to their territory for protection. The mushroom people Monet mentioned on day 1. So they're real, and they're powerful enough to offer shelter during the beast tide. Another contact to make after things settle down. We finish the trade. I shake Babu's hand. Come back anytime. We will. I try to sell them some blazite gel for the road. Great against ants. Babu waves his hands frantically. No. The myconids would kill us if we brought fire near their territory, right? Mushroom people. Fire. Bad combination. My mistake. Gavi grins as they leave. Next time we visit, I'll bring you something you've never seen before. I watch the logging mech stomp away into the darkness and feel a pang of longing. 18,000 gold. Maybe someday. Oakshield burps, a beery, judgmental burp, and says, I'll admit those goblins have some talent, my lord. But this goblin kingdom they brag about? It's a legend. Nobody's ever found ruins or artifacts. Not one. Everything people know about it comes from goblin self-promotion. Flying fortresses and doomsday mechs? Fairy tales for children. Lala pipes up. Actually, flying fortresses are real. I read about one in a book. A wizard academy controls a floating island that was supposedly built from a goblin flying fortress. Oakshield goes quiet. Even he can't argue with a book. I file everything away for later. The goblin engineers might exaggerate, but their tech is real. I just watched a steam-powered mech cut open a flour sack with a circular saw arm. If I can recruit or buy a squad of goblin engineers after the beast tide, the possibilities are endless. The myconid tribe is another priority contact. Potential allies, potential trade partners, and they might know something about healing chaos residue, since they're basically walking pharmacies. My dungeon has a 400 population cap now, and I'm only at 45. I can't just rely on weekly recruitment from the barracks. I need to go out and recruit native factions, goblins, myconids, maybe even reformed kobold tribes. But first, 2 days. Beast tide. Giant angry ants. Everything else comes after survival. 2 days of construction, and the results are beautiful. Well, beautiful by dungeon standards. The outer wall is done. 2 meters high, packed earth core with brick facing, wide enough for 3 people to walk side by side on top. For the first time since arriving in this hellhole, I feel something resembling safety. Outside the wall is a proper trench, lined with bricks on the bottom and sides. Serves double duty, blocks burrowing ants and handles drainage. Engineering degree finally paying off in the most unexpected way possible. Next, the minefield. I set up the goblin bombs in trigger mode. Anything heavier than 10 kilograms steps on one. Boom. The kobolds dig small holes across the open ground in front of the wall. I personally handle the placement because I don't trust anyone else not to blow themselves up. To keep track of what's where, I have the kobolds dig a grid pattern dividing the field into 9 sections. Simple reference system so I can find and remove the bombs later. Assuming they're later. 50 bombs planted across the killing field. 3 approach tunnels blocked with wooden stake fences, leaving only 1 narrow path for friendly traffic. Lala handwrites warning signs in her neat drow script. Bombs inside. Do not enter. That's it. I'm not going outside again until the beast tide is over. The door is metaphorically closed. With the defenses finally done, I turn my attention to something that's been slowly destroying my morale, the food. I've been eating nothing but dry flatbread and beef jerky for days. My stomach is staging a revolt, so I build a little cooking station in the courtyard, buy pots and pans from the trading market, and attempt to make beef stew. First sip. I dump the entire pot. Without any spices, the meat stew tastes like someone boiled a boot in swamp water. The gamey smell is overwhelming. No onion, no garlic, no ginger, nothing to kill the funk. In this world, the only way to make meat edible is to burn it half to charcoal on a grill, which at least reduces the stink to tolerable levels. Lala, how do the drow deal with the smell? There are mushrooms with spicy flavors. You dry them, grind them into powder, and marinate the meat. Fragrant stem mushrooms, spike-cap mushrooms, oily trumpet mushrooms. We call them spice mushrooms. Can I grow them? Some yes, some you have to buy from myconids or find wild. They're all expensive. I check the trading market for spices. Almost nothing. Every player is focused on military buildup right now. Nobody cares about seasoning. The chat channel has dropped to 41 people out of 50. 9 dead since we started. I post, looking to buy spices. The beast tide is coming and you're worried about food? Please tone down the chill energy. Nothing wrong with a good meal before battle. Facts. Then someone named Dai Meow pipes up. She has onions and tomatoes. Onions. Tomatoes. My heart skips a beat. How much? Onions. 10 gold per gene. Tomatoes. For gold per gene. 10 gold for onions? That's more expensive than crystals. Show me another onion seller on this entire market. I'll wait. I got these from a passing merchant caravan, and I'm the only supplier. Take it or leave it. Down with monopolies. Down with scalpers. Don't care. Buying or not, I buy immediately. Add her as a friend. Turns out Dai Meow is running a level 3 agricultural territory called Silver Farm. 1.2 square kilometers for 156 population, 8,000 durability. Her territory trait boosts crop yields by 35% and livestock growth by 20%. And there's a 0.5% chance any plant she grows mutates into a plant spirit, a friendly combat unit that guards her farmland. What do plant spirits look like? Trumpet flowers that shoot green beans, and haystacks that throw corn cobs. Haven't seen other types yet. I blinked several times. That sounds suspiciously familiar. Do you happen to have undead neighbors? How did you know? There's a burial ground to the west full of necromancers. Plants versus zombies. She's literally living in Plants versus Zombies. The universe has a sense of humor. We work out a trade. 1 goblin bomb for a gene each of tomatoes and onions. She wants to test the explosion first. Fair enough. And finally, I cook a real meal. Onion and tomato braised beef. Tomato scrambled eggs on the side. Actual food with actual flavor. I sit across from Lala at the table. She stuffs her cheeks full of beef like a hamster, chewing happily. Then she notices me watching, immediately sits up straight, swallows hard, wipes the grease off her lips, and says in her most dignified voice, "It's delicious. I haven't had surface food in so long. Eat as much as you want. No rush." She beams and scoops another big spoonful, dropping all pretense of table manners. Outside, chaos erupts. "That's mine. Let go. You already had 2 bowls. You want to fight? Just 1 sip of soup. 1 sip, something crashes. If you don't shut up, nobody eats," I yell. Dead silence outside. I scrape the bottom of the pot and send the last portions to the cells. A bowl for the gray dwarves. A bowl for the manticore. The way to tame prisoners and monsters. First brainwashing dice, then beef stew. Psychological warfare on multiple fronts. 16 hours until the beast tide officially starts. Taming dice. Monet rolled a 7. Resistance crashes to 14. He's almost mine. Copperbeard failed again at 42. Manticore dropped to 45. Good progress all around. But here's the thing about the beast tide countdown. The ants didn't read the schedule. They're early. The sound comes first. Metal scraping, shrieking, thousands of legs hitting stone, like a freight train made of nightmares barreling through the tunnels. Then the first ant appears, then the second, the third, and they just keep coming. An endless river of black chitinous bodies flooding through the passage, pouring past my territory like a tsunami. I'm standing on the wall in a set of chainmail, gripping my bow. Behind me, kobolds with pickaxes, eyeballs glowing, harpies nervously flapping. Nobody speaks. Torches flicker on the cave walls, barely cutting through the darkness. 3 hours. The main swarm takes 3 hours to pass by. They're not coming for me. This column is heading toward Lane's camp, probably trying to punch through to Black Moss City. Then, just as the rumbling fades, a different sound. Deliberate. Organized. A squad of soldier ants rounds the corner in battle formation, led by a cave lord, and they're heading straight for my dungeon. This group's for US. Battle stations. I knock an arrow, aim at the lead soldier ant, and release. It hits. The ant next to the one I aimed at. In the leg. Not ideal. Then a real arrow screams out of the darkness beside me. Lala's shot punches clean through the lead ant's head and pins it to the ground. Dead before it hits the floor. 1 arrow. 1 kill. While I'm over here playing, close enough, the ant formation charges into my minefield. Boom, boom, boom. Goblin bombs rip through the front ranks. Limbs and green blood fly into the air. The shockwaves blow out the wall torches, but each explosion lights up the killing field in orange flashes, like a strobe light in hell. The ants charge over their own dead without slowing down. More explosions. More bodies. The cave lord behind them keeps pushing fresh soldiers forward into the meat grinder. The survivors reach the trench. I throw 2 blazite gel bottles into the ditch. The wood and coal I preloaded down there catches instantly. A wall of fire erupts across the entire trench line, heat waves blasting upward. The ants at the edge actually flinch backward. The fire splits the enemy in 2. A handful already crossed before the flames went up. The rest are stuck on the other side, staring at an inferno. The ones that cross start climbing my wall vertically. Ants don't care about walls, they just walk up them. Kobolds meet them at the top with pickaxes. Oakshield buries his axe in a skull. Then Lala starts casting. Holy Spirit's Blessing, Strength 2, Agility 2, Divine Shield, Incoming damage reduced 20%. Stone Skin, Resistance 3, 3 buffs in seconds. Power floods through my body. My stats with buffs, Strength 6, Agility 5, Resistance 6. For the first time I feel like an actual fighter instead of a physics student holding a sword wrong. I climb the wall and start swinging my cleaver. Lala's sword training pays off. I dodge a jaw sweep that would have taken my head, pivot, and chop into the ant's neck joint. Every ant climbing up has 2 or 3 of Lala's arrows buried deep in its shell. Only the feathered ends visible. Her shots punch through armored carapace like it's cardboard. The harpies execute perfect hit-and-run dives, talons into an ant's brain, kick off its back, wings spread, gone before anyone can react. Rapid return is devastating. We clear the wall. Every ant that climbed up is dead. Then the cave lord makes its move. It rushes forward and starts chanting something in a guttural, alien language. My lord, get down. Lala grabs me and yanks me off the wall. A line of stone spikes erupts from the ground, punching upward in a row from the cave lord's position all the way to my wall. Giant tooth-shaped pillars of rock, each one the size of a person, ripping through earth and brick like paper. Crash. An entire section of my wall collapses. 2 kobolds are buried instantly. A soldier ant on our side gets impaled by its own commander's spell. Friendly fire doesn't seem to be a concept for bugs. The fire in the trench gets scattered by the upheaval. Burning logs tumble in every direction. The cave lord stays calm. Terrifyingly calm. It directs soldier ants to spread out and suppress my eyeballs with acid volleys. Meanwhile, worker ants behind the line start hauling boulders, stones bigger than themselves, and dumping them into the burning trench, trying to build a bridge through the fire. My eyeballs fire beam after beam at the workers, killing them, but each dead worker drops its boulder into the trench along with its body, slowly filling the gap anyway. Even in death, they're completing their mission. The cave lord starts chanting again. A harpy dives from above, hitting its blind spot. Her talons rake across its shell, shooting sparks. A deep gouge appears in the metallic armor. The spell is interrupted, but I can see the situation clearly. The trench is being filled. The wall has a breach. My soldiers are getting hit by acid and retreating. The outer wall is lost. Time to fall back. I give the order to abandon the outer perimeter and retreat into the dungeon itself. We've bled them hard. 50 bombs detonated, dozens of ants dead. The fire trench bought us precious time. But there are simply too many of them, and that cave lord's earth magic just changed the game entirely. I grip my saw cleaver, soaked in sweat under my chain mail, and pull back toward the dungeon door. Phase 1 of the defense is over. Phase 2 begins now. Soldier ants flood in from both sides. I grab handfuls of goblin bombs and hurl them into the swarm. Die boom, 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 boom. Dozens of explosions erupt simultaneously. Fire blooms across the battlefield. Shrapnel tears through the front ranks like a horizontal hailstorm. Entire groups of ants are reduced to green paste. But the cave lord behind them just screams louder, and more ants charge forward through the fire and smoke, stepping over their own shredded comrades without flinching. These things don't know fear. Fear is a luxury for creatures with survival instincts. Ants just have orders. Eyeballs, fall back to the dungeon. Kobolds, off the wall, cover the retreat. Harpies, firebomb the wall. The harpies grab blazite gel bottles in their talons and launch skyward. They dive over the outer wall and smash the bottles against the brick surface. The gel splatters, and the entire wall ignites. A 2-meter-high curtain of flames stretching across my perimeter. 4 or 5 ants climbing the wall catch fire instantly, but they don't stop. They keep climbing, fully ablaze, and drop over the other side to attack the kobolds like burning kamikazes. The eyeballs have repositioned inside the dungeon at the arrow slits, firing psychic beams through the windows. Lala picks off the burning ants with precise arrows. One by one they collapse. But then a harpy gets caught. A soldier ant's jaws snap shut on her midsection during her pullout. Her hollow, lightweight spine snaps like a twig. Her wings flap twice, then go limp. She's gone. The kobolds form a desperate line in front of the dungeon entrance. They shouldn't be able to fight soldier ants at all. The stat difference is enormous. But with Lala's triple buff running, they're holding. Barely. Every time a kobold takes a hit, Lala throws a heal spell. The line bends, but doesn't break. The cave lord adapts. It organizes its ants into an anti-air formation. Coordinated acid volleys turn the sky into a toxic kill zone. One harpy takes a hit to her wing. Acid eats through the feathers. She loses balance, takes a second hit, and tumbles out of the air trailing black feathers like a dying bird. Half the remaining harpies are wounded. They retreat behind the wall. The firewall buys time, but not enough. The cave lord fires 3 rounds of stone spike magic, punching 2 breaches through the burning wall. Then it lowers its massive metallic head and rams the wall like a battering ram. 10 meters of wall collapse in a shower of sparks and rubble. Everyone inside. Now, the kobolds break formation and sprint for the dungeon door. It's chaos. They're shoving and tripping over each other. 2 stragglers get spike-legged through the chest before they make it. The dungeon door slams shut. I lean against it, gasping. 1 hour of fighting. For kobolds dead, 1 harpy dead. Half my forces are wounded. Then, my lord, move. Lala body checks me away from the window. A bolt of dark green magical energy hits her instead. Mana burn. Drains 30% of the target's current energy and deals half that number as damage. Lala staggers. Her 8 legs slip on the stone floor. Dark blood drips from her nose. She fumbles for the soul purification bottle, takes a big gulp of soul essence, and steadies herself. Through the window, I can see the cave lord smash its armored head into the outer wall one final time. The remaining section crumbles. My beautiful wall that took 2 days to build is gone. The ant army pushes up to the dungeon door. I hand out blaze-eye gel to every kobold with functioning arms. We throw bottle after bottle through the window slits. The ground outside the door becomes a lake of fire. Ants that dodge the flames ram the door directly. Bang! Bang! Dungeon durability, 1,920 out of 2,000. I try throwing goblin bombs at the cave lord, but it's too far, 60 meters back, directing traffic like a general behind its lines. The bombs land short and blow up regular ants instead. Annoying, but not decisive. I look at Lala and her red quality bow with the piercing cloud arrow skill. 500-meter effective range, penetrates anything in its path. Lala, can you throw a bomb that far? She shakes her head. Too far to throw. Lightning strikes my brain. What if we tie the bomb to an arrow? Her compound eyes widen. That might actually work. I grab rope, lash 2 goblin bombs to an arrow shaft, set the timer to 8 seconds, and hand it over. Lala draws. Piercing cloud arrow charges. She releases. The arrow flies, but the extra weight throws off the trajectory. It arcs downward early and hits the ground 20 meters short of the cave lord. The explosion kills some surrounding ants, but the lord is untouched. Lala grips her bow, knuckles white. I'm sorry. Can I try again? That was calibration. Now you know the drop. Take your time, but also hurry. I tie another bomb arrow. She raises her aim 10 centimeters higher to compensate for the weight. Release. The arrow traces a perfect parabola through the smoky air, descending right into the cave lord's rear abdomen. Boom. Smoke engulfs the target. Lala's face lights up. I hit it. I'm staring through the haze, heart pounding. A roar shakes the tunnel walls. The smoke clears. The cave lord is alive. A quarter of its back section is blown off. 2 left rear legs are simply gone. Green blood is pooling everywhere. But it's still standing. Still screaming. How is it still alive? I shove another bomb arrow into Lala's hands. Again, but the ants are learning. Soldier ants pile in front of the cave lord, stacking their bodies into a living shield wall. Lala's next arrow detonates against the ant wall, shatters it completely, limbs flying everywhere, but the blast doesn't reach the lord behind them. They're evacuating it. I shout. For soldier ants lift the wounded cave lord onto their backs and start carrying it away. Lala fires bomb arrows as fast as I can tie them. One lands left. One lands behind. The explosions kill the carrier ants, but new ones immediately step in, climbing over the dead to pick up their lord and keep retreating. I'm clenching my jaw so hard my teeth might crack. We have to kill it here, but it's no use. The ants sacrifice themselves in waves. Each explosion obliterates the current carriers, and fresh ones take their place within seconds. They're spending lives like currency, buying their lord's escape one body at a time. The cave lord disappears into the darkness, carried away on a river of its own soldiers' corpses. It got away. I slammed my fist against the dungeon wall. We had it. We almost had it. 2 more seconds, one more clean shot, and it would have been over. But almost doesn't count in a war against bugs. I pull out the arcane necklace. 1 charge per day, 35 energy restored to everyone within 20 meters. I've been saving it for exactly this moment. Energy floods back into Lala. Her eyes, all 8 compound ones, go sharp. The red bow becomes a blur. She fires bomb arrows so fast I can barely tie them. One after another, they streak across the battlefield and slam into the cave lord's mangled body. Its escort ants? Vaporized. 20-meter radius around it. Nothing but craters and green mist. The cave lord's shattered body is still twitching. Still crawling. Still not dead. Outside, the remaining few hundred soldier ants are finally wavering. Without their lord's commands, their formation crumbles. They start pulling back. But the ants are trying to drag the cave lord away with them. 6 soldiers hoist its broken body and shuffle toward the darkness. No, absolutely not. I did not spend 200 bombs, half my army, and a perfectly good wall to let this oversized cockroach crawl home. Lala, keep shooting. Everyone else. With me. The dungeon door flies open. I charge out with Oak Shield and the surviving kobolds. Harpies launch with blazite gel in their talons. Eyeballs float behind us like a firing squad on parade. We slam into the retreating ants. Kobolds hit them head-on while I circle behind and start taking heads. The saw cleaver is singing, pivoting, slashing, biting through shells. Lala's training is paying off. I'm dodging jaw sweeps I would have eaten face first a week ago. A crazed soldier ant lunges at my face. I twist, conjure a fireball in my palm, and slap it right on the ant's mouth. The fire explodes on impact. The ant reels back, and I bring the cleaver down on its neck. Head rolls. Another one bursts out of the ground right beneath me. I don't even see it coming, but an arrow whistles past my ear and nails it in the skull, deflecting its bite just enough. I drive the cleaver into the top of its head, twist, and scramble its brain. It collapses half buried in the dirt. 3 more arrows from Lala pick off ants trying to flank me. Every time I'm about to die, an arrow appears from nowhere and saves my life. I'm starting to think my real weapon isn't the cleaver. It's the blind spider girl 200 meters behind me. The harpies drop blazite gel directly on the cave lord. It ignites. The massive creature thrashes in the flames, but weaker now, slower. Its movements become spasms. I push through the carnage. Bombs, fire, psychic beams clearing a path, until I'm standing right in front of the burning lord. I wave my hand. The eyeballs line up in formation, charge their beams, and fire a synchronized volley into its blazing corpse. A glorious victory. Cave lord killed. Every single one of my troops levels up. Massively. My own stats jump. Strength from 4 to 6. Agility from 3 to 4. Intelligence from 8 to 9. Resistance from 3 to 4. My max HP hits 100. I'm finally at normal human baseline after a week of near-death experiences. The physics nerd is becoming a fighter. Slowly. Painfully. But it's happening. Oak Shield jumps from level 3 to level 5, strength hitting 9. He's becoming a genuine elite warrior. Harpies go from level 1 to 3. Agility hits 10, double digits. They were already fast. Now they're untouchable. Kobolds level up to 3. Stronger, tougher. The ones who survived earned it. Lala hits level 15. She was already terrifying. Now she's more terrifying. Even the eyeballs got massive upgrades. Most hit level 3. 2 reached level 4. Total losses, 6 kobolds dead out of 13. 2 harpies dead out of 7. The survivors are all battle-hardened veterans now. Fewer in number, but dramatically more powerful. Then the loot drops. 3 items glow on the cave lord's scorched corpse. First, red whetstone. Red quality. Upgrades any blue sword or blade to red quality. I immediately use it on my saw cleaver. The blade drinks in the stone like it's been thirsty. Red light pulses through the metal. The serrated edge grows organic-looking tendrils of metallic flesh. The spine handle sprouts vein-like patterns. When I grip it, I hear whispers, like the wailing of the dead carried on wind. New stats, strength 2, and a terrifying new passive, bleeding. Any wound from this blade causes uncontrollable bleeding, losing 5 HP per minute, unhealable for 1 full hour. This weapon just went from scary to war crime. Second, blueprint for antshell armor. Blue quality. Unlockable at a blacksmith. Quality depends on which ant the shell came from. There are about 300 dead ants outside. That's 300 sets of armor waiting to happen. Third, and this is the one that makes me want to cry tears of joy, wormhole eye. Red quality. The cave lord's actual eyeball, and it opens a pocket dimension. For cubic meters of instant access storage space. Put items in, pull items out, anywhere, anytime. Living things can't enter. I hold the eye up and peer through it. Inside is a miniature room. I bring my cleaver close and it gets sucked in, appearing as a tiny version of itself inside the eye. Think about it, and it pops back into my hand. Spatial storage. The thing I've been searching for since day one, that nobody on the entire trading market had. It just dropped from a boss monster. No more kobold delivery crews hauling equipment for 3 hours. No more choosing what to carry because my pockets are full. For cubic meters of everything I need, instantly accessible. I stand in the middle of a burning battlefield, surrounded by dead ants, holding a screaming flesh blade in one hand and a magical eyeball portal in the other, covered head to toe in green blood. The physics researcher from Earth is gone. Whatever I am now, I don't think there's a job title for it. After confirming the ants retreated, I collapse and sleep for 5 hours straight. Lala is still out cold. She burned through an insane amount of energy-casting buffs and healing during the battle. I wake up to a countdown. 2 hours until the beast tide officially starts. Wait, 2 hours? We just fought off an entire army with a cave lord, and the beast tide hasn't even begun yet? Oakshield leans against the wall and says what I'm afraid to hear. My lord, I think our beast tide might already be over. Dibu the kobold leader explains the math. Cave demons live deep underground. Digging a stable tunnel to the surface takes roughly 10 hours. The main swarm probably left their nests hours ago, heading upward. What hit us was just a side force, a detachment sent to clear out local threats while the bulk of the army drills toward the surface world. So the 3-hour river of ants that passed by my dungeon earlier? That was the main army, marching to war against the surface. They weren't interested in me. The squad that attacked us was basically a cleanup crew. And we almost died to the cleanup crew. So, we won. I ask carefully. Probably. But we should prepare in case stragglers come back. I have Oakshield and Dibu plant 30 more goblin bombs in the approach routes, keeping 42 in reserve. The troops start cleaning up the battlefield, burning corpses, stripping useful ant shells for the armor blueprint I just got. The harpies airlift ant carcasses into piles while kobolds and eyeballs peel off the shells. The cave lord's armor plates go into my new wormhole storage eye. That thing is already the best item I own. Then I check the chat channels and discover that the surface world is about to have a very bad day. The world channel is chaos. ANTS are attacking my city. My gates are broken. Someone help. The underground lords are all getting hit. And then, is it raining? On the surface, it's 6 a.m. Storm clouds rolled in overnight. Lightning all night, now pouring rain. The water soaks into the earth, softening the hard-packed soil, and suddenly the ground starts moving. Little mounds of dirt push up, then collapse inward. Antennae poke through the grass. Then black shapes, hundreds, thousands, erupt from the earth in organized columns and march toward player territories. Every lord gets the same system notification. Beast tide has begun. And then the real bad news. Bathed in the rain of providence, cave demons have been enhanced for 12 hours. The cave mother gets telepathy, a fertility aura, and an inspiration halo. Cave lords get a greed aura, 20% attack speed, and 10% lifesteal for all nearby allies within 500 meters. Soldier ants get frenzy, 15% less physical damage taken, 20% less magical damage taken. Even worker ants get 1 to all stats. After 12 hours, the buffs wear off and all cave demons get weakened. All stats halved for 7 days. So the ants are going all in for half a day, then they'll collapse. 12 hours of hell. Then it's over. The chat explodes in despair. They're buffed? This is impossible. Is this a scripted death event? Some guy with a griffin says he'll just fly above it all. Someone reminds him it's a thunderstorm. Oh, right. Another player on a floating sky island laughs about being unreachable. No ants up here. Someone points out he won't get any loot either. Who needs loot? Being alive is the loot. Steel and medicine prices skyrocket instantly. Profiteers are hoarding supplies. Panic selling everywhere else. Over at River Valley Fortress, Yue is standing on his walls in the pouring rain, armor-drenched. His gunpowder is wet. Cannons and muskets lose 30% effectiveness. The elaborate trench system outside his walls has turned into a mud pit, completely useless. He orders the forward outposts abandoned. I should have listened to you, he tells his hero Lawrence. I was too obsessed with musket formations. Thought guns and cannons could solve everything. It's not too late, sir. Our soldiers train with bayonets. Close combat is still an option. He's also bought 3 magical cannons that run on magic crystals instead of gunpowder. Rainproof. Those might be his lifeline. Zhang Nan, my cement supplier, is staring at his blackstone fortress with blood on his lips from biting through them in frustration. He spent all week building reinforced concrete fortifications and converting his base into a star fortress. Then the rain came. Fresh concrete that hasn't cured yet. A brick wall section that wasn't sealed in time. And his entire stockpile of blazite gel? Useless in the rain. Can't burn what's already soaked. He picks up his sword and polishes it quietly, watching black shapes creep closer through the downpour. And then there's the great cemetery guy, Lin Jingyang. His 1,000-skeleton army slams into the ant horde head-on. Zombies flank from the sides. Swarms of undead locusts charge through the enemy lines. 5 death knights cut through the ants like legends. And his prize unit? A beautiful female drow zombie, skin preserved with corpse oil until it practically glows, delicate fingers drawing a bowstring. That's what the good condition complete corpses were for. I sold him 10 premium drow bodies for 1,600 gold. He turned them into glamorous, undead archers. I have deeply mixed feelings about this, but I can't deny the results. The guy's a weirdo, but he's a winning weirdo. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in my dungeon, already past the worst of it, watching the surface world burn. My beast tide came early, hit hard, and left. Theirs is just beginning, with rain-boosted super ants. For once, being stuck underground was the better deal. The timer hits 0. No ants come. The beast tide is officially over, for me, at least. The surface world? Not so lucky. New week means new troops. The barracks refresh. 10 kobolds, 5 eyeballs, 7 harpies. I recruit them all. After losses, my army is back up to 17 kobolds, 15 eyeballs, and 11 harpies. Plus Oakshield, Lala, and my collection of prisoners. Battlefield cleanup brings in 9,700 gold coins and 3 item drops. Giant's belt, white quality, strength 2. Strapping this on immediately. Cheapskate shield, white quality, agility 1, resistance 1. The description literally says, budget pick for early game. I feel personally attacked by this item, but I equip it anyway. Eternal Night Light, red quality. A tiny glowing stone blessed by the Church of Light that shines in any darkness. Basically a magical flashlight the size of an eyeball. In the Underdark, where everything is pitch black all the time, this is actually priceless. My stats with all gear equipped, strength 10, agility 5, intelligence 9, resistance 5, strength 10. I went from a wet noodle with 3 strength to hitting the double-digit club in 1 week. The Giant's Belt and the Saw Cleavers too are doing the heavy lifting, but still, I can now pull a real bow. The physics nerd era is ending. Now here's my plan. I remember that cliff edge near where Anna died, a 100-meter vertical drop into what's probably the main ant nest. The entire cave demon army just left for the surface. The nest should be nearly empty. Time for a heist. I leave Oakshield guarding the dungeon and march out with Lala, 10 kobolds, 5 harpies, and 10 eyeballs. The Underdark is eerily quiet. Every glowing mushroom that used to light the tunnels has been eaten by the ants. The only light is my little eternal night light, casting its soft glow ahead of us like a lonely star. 2 hours of silent walking. We reach the cliff. I send 2 harpies down to scout. They disappear into the blackness. 20 minutes later, they rocket back up. My lord, the bottom is full of tunnels. Thousands of soldier ants are guarding the entrances. At least 1,000. Any cave lords? None spotted. 1,000 ants. No lords. And I have about 150 bottles of blazite gel that I never used during the battle. A very evil smile spreads across my face. Dump it all. Every last bottle. Down the cliff. Yes, sir. Bottles of blazite gel rain down into the darkness like deadly hail. At first, just a tiny spark appears far below. Then another. And another. I grab 2 bottles myself and chuck them over the edge. Hungry? Have some more. Tonight's menu. Charcoal grilled ant. More bottles. More fire. The bottom of the cliff starts glowing red. Then the screaming starts. Roars of pure hatred and agony echo up from the depths, carried on columns of rising black smoke. The sound is horrible. 1,000 creatures burning alive, howling their rage at the sky they can't reach. Faster. Throw them all. Get some on the cliff walls too. Block them from climbing up. We empty every single bottle. The cliff face becomes a vertical sheet of fire. A few brave soldier ants try to climb up through the flames, glowing dots racing upward on the burning wall. They make it about 2/3 of the way before stopping. Then they go dark. The smoke gets so thick we have to retreat and find breathable air. I can only imagine what it looks like down there. 100 meters of vertical inferno, blazite gel coating everything. 2,000 degrees burning through shell and flesh with no way to extinguish it. We wait an hour for the smoke to clear. The harpies go down for a second look. The fire's mostly out, my lord. But some soldier ants survived. They're moving bodies and repairing tunnels. How did they survive that? The harpy shrugs her wings. Lala guesses they either burrowed deep underground or the nest has fireproof chambers. Doesn't matter. I'm not going down there while they're still enhanced by the Rain of Providence buff. I check the timer. 5 hours until all cave demons enter weakened state. All stats halved for 7 days. I'll wait. While my troops take shifts sleeping and standing guard, I check the chat. The surface beast tide has been raging for 7 hours. The channels are almost silent. Everyone's fighting for their lives. My random channel started with 50 people. It's down to 24. If that ratio holds across all players, roughly half of everyone is dead. Billions of people, halved in a single day. The screenshots people managed to post before going dark tell the story. Some lords got lucky, a few hundred ants. Some got absolutely demolished. One poor bastard got sandwiched between 2 cave lords simultaneously. Most faced 1 cave lord with varying numbers of soldiers. Great Cemetery already won his fight. River Valley Fortress is mopping up. The others are either still fighting or not responding anymore. 5 hours creep by. The system notification arrives. Enhancement expired. All cave demons now weakened. All stats halved for 7 days. I gather the team. We eat a quick meal. Time to go down into the nest and see what 1,000 fire-roasted ants left behind. Weapons and armor go into the wormhole eye. Time to raid the nest. For harpies, grab a kobold each and dive off the cliff first. I hold on to 2 harpy talons and follow them down. After their level ups, the harpies can carry much heavier loads in flight. Lala casts a lightweight spell on herself and just runs down the vertical cliff face on 8 spider legs. Like it's a sidewalk. Show off. 7 or 8 minutes of controlled descent. The smell hits before my feet touch the ground. Burned flesh, excrement, and rotting food all mixed into the worst odor I've ever experienced. My head spins. The floor of the nest is covered in charcoal ant corpses. Worker ants are shuffling around trying to clean up the mess. The moment we land, surviving soldier ants screech and swarm toward us from every direction. Lala starts casting immediately. Triple buff, Holy Spirit's blessing, divine shield, stone skin. With the buffs stacking on top of my new gear, my stats hit ridiculous numbers. Strength 12. Agility 7. Resistance 8. I'm hitting harder than the gray dwarves who almost killed me on day 1. And the ants? They're in weakened state. All stats halved. The soldier ants that nearly wiped me out last week now have Strength 4, Agility 3, Resistance 4. A basic level. One farmer has all fives. These terrifying war machines are now weaker than farmers. The kobolds charge in, and their pickaxes snap ant legs like twigs. The harpies casually rip skulls open from above. I wade into the swarm with my upgraded saw cleaver, and it's like cutting through wet paper. The red quality blade slides through their shells with zero resistance. The bleeding, passive triggers on everything I touch. Wounds that won't heal, draining 5 HP per minute. These ants are bleeding out faster than they can fight. Lala's arrows punch through heads so deep the entire shaft disappears. Every ant that raises a jaw at me gets a feathered surprise in the brain. Half an hour. We clear the entire entrance area. It's not a battle, it's pest control. I have the harpies ferry down the rest of my forces while I explore the outer tunnels. The nest is built from compacted wet soil mixed with nutrients. The same stuff serves as food storage and fireproofing. The outer layer got baked dry by my blazite gel carpet bombing, but the inner layers stayed moist. Clever design. That's why some ants survive the inferno. Once the full team arrives, we push deeper. The tunnels branch into different sizes, narrow ones, wide ones, each probably serving a specific function. I follow the biggest tunnel. The larvae start fighting back desperately. Not to win, they're too weak for that. They're throwing themselves at us purely to buy time. Stalling. Protecting something deeper inside. I throw 3 goblin bombs to clear the path. The explosion shreds the larvae but also collapses the tunnel ceiling ahead. Sand pours down and blocks our way. I have to reroute. We wind through a side passage, and then every hair on my body stands up. In front of me is the biggest ant I've ever seen. Bigger than a cave lord. Its body is coated in slime like a worm, covered in spikes, mountain-sized and barely able to move in the chamber. The Cave Mother. Stats pop up through my talent. Even in weakened state, Strength 7, Intelligence 14, HP 400, Energy 600. She has a telepathy skill that lets her share senses with every ant in the nest and give commands. And a sacrifice skill. She can offer living things to demons in exchange for gifts. Demons. Lovely. She curls into a defensive ball when she senses us approaching. Behind her is a smooth stone altar carved with blood-red magical symbols. Creepy demon worship stuff. Then a voice echoes inside my skull. Human, I surrender. The nest treasures are yours. Just let me live. Telepathy works on humans too. Good to know. If I kill you, the treasures are mine anyway. I think back. You can't. I serve the 9 Hell's demons. Kill me and you'll anger them. Then let them come. You madman. You have no idea what you're provoking. Less talking, more giving me reasons to keep you alive. Her tone shifts. Desperate now. I'll submit to you. 20 soldier ants per week, fighting for you. I consider this for about half a second. Then I wave my hand. The eyeballs charge up and fire a volley of psychic beams directly into her bloated body. She screams and thrashes, rolling side to side, making the whole chamber shake. Why? Why? I smirk. There's an old saying where I'm from. You don't let someone sleep beside your bed. The real reason? She's the size of a small building. My dungeon cells can barely fit a manticore. Where exactly am I supposed to put a mountain-sized insect queen? The taming feature requires a cage. No cage, no taming. So she dies. You'll pay for this. She lunges her massive body at me. I sidestep easily. She's got 2 agility in weakened state. A beached whale moves faster. I toss 2 goblin bombs onto her back. Boom. Meat and slime explode everywhere. The kobolds and harpies pile on. She has no real combat ability. Her body was built for breeding, not fighting. She's huge but clumsy, slow, and completely outmatched by an actual combat force. She goes down fast. I walk up to her dying face, grip the saw cleaver with both hands, and drive it deep into her brain. One twist, one push. Her final howl echoes through the nest and fades to nothing. The queen is dead. Cave Mother killed. Then immediately, a great existence has noticed you. My blood turns to ice. My lungs feel flooded. Strange whispers fill my ears. Incomprehensible, alien, wrong. My vision goes black for 5 or 6 seconds. When I come back, I'm drenched in cold sweat and my hands are shaking. Lala rushes over. My lord, your face is white. What happened? Something. Noticed me. Something big. The Cave Mother warned me about the 9 Hell's demons. I killed her anyway because she wouldn't fit in my cells. And now something from beyond this world just poked its head in to look at me. The mere act of being observed by it nearly knocked me unconscious. Great. I've attracted cosmic attention. Every physics researcher's dream is to be noticed by a higher power. Just not this kind. Lala, what do you know about the 9 Hells demons? They're supposedly the ones who nearly destroyed the world last era. Some mysterious force banished them to the 9 Hells. There's almost no records left about them. Are there active demons in the world now? Rarely. Mostly people just use demon symbols as false flags when committing crimes. Okay, if demon activity is rare, then whatever just looked at me probably can't reach me easily. I'll deal with it when it becomes a problem. For now, loot. I touched the glowing orb on the mother's corpse. First drop, rapid-fire cannon. Red quality. A handheld magic cannon roughly the size of a shotgun, with an 80mm bore covered in intricate engravings. It looks like a premium skin from a first-person shooter. Its special ability, it automatically absorbs ambient magical energy over 30 seconds, meaning it recharges itself. No ammo needed. Just point, shoot. Wait half a minute, shoot again. I am grinning. Second drop, a card. Gold quality. First gold item I've ever seen, rarer than red. Mushroom Trail, a story quest card. The illustration shows a beautiful girl in a white sundress and straw hat, delicately picking mushrooms with a gentle smile. The quest chain, prologue, create a mushroom garden. Reward, spore control spell. I stare at the card art. The girl on it is stunning, not in a flashy way. In a quiet morning in a sunlit meadow way. My heart actually skips. I thought I was immune to this kind of thing after years of anime games, but apparently hand-painted fantasy card art hits different when you're living inside the fantasy. I realize I've been staring at the card for too long when I notice Lala's expression changing beside me. She looks not happy. I quickly put the card away. Third drop, building blueprint, cave mother's ovary. Red quality, one-time use. Builds a spawning structure in my territory that produces 10 soldier or worker ants per week. Everything goes into the wormhole eye. I send kobolds to strip the mother's shell for future armor crafting and explore the side tunnels. Then Lala and I walk up to the stone altar behind where the mother was sitting. Blood-red magical runes glow across its smooth surface. The instant I step onto the platform, voices crash into my head. Offer. Grant. Sacrifice. Gift. Fragmented. Overlapping. Like 100 mouths whispering at once. Lala. Do you hear anything weird? She blinks. No. So it's just me. The altar is talking to me specifically. Wonderful. Lala examines the runes. This is a sacrificial altar, used to communicate with unknown beings. It's currently active. The runes are still glowing, which means the connection the mother opened hasn't closed yet. So the mother was mid-conversation with a demon when we killed her, and the line is still open? Possibly. I glance upward instinctively. Something feels like it's watching from above. Nothing's there. The feeling doesn't go away. Do you know how to perform a sacrifice? The words leave my mouth before I realize what I'm asking. Lala's face falls. Of course, she was almost sacrificed to the spider goddess herself. She watched a child from her own race get thrown onto an altar because he wasn't strong enough or pretty enough. I know one universal method, she says quietly. I participated in a sacrifice to Lolth once. They sacrificed one of our own. He was just a boy. He begged. I still remember his face. The silence is heavy. Am I a terrible person? She whispers. You were a child following orders in a cruel society. The fact that you still remember his face, that you still feel guilty, that's proof you're not like them. You can't change the past. But someday, when you're strong enough, maybe you can change the future for your people. I'll try, she says softly. I step down from the altar. The whispers surge again. Sacrifice. Blessing. Great. Offering. Offering. Supreme. Blessing. It wants something. It's guiding me. Practically begging me to sacrifice the cave mother's body. Shut up, I grab my head. Lala looks at me with concern. What's wrong? Nothing. What would happen if we sacrificed the mother on this altar? She's shocked. The mother was the altar's operator. She opened the connection as a priestess. I have no idea what sacrificing the priestess herself would do. Want to try? She hesitates, then nods. There's a universal law of equivalent exchange in divine sacrifice. You offer something, you receive something of equal value. Even evil gods won't cheat a sacrificer it would cost them faith power. So gods can't scam you. They can make things unpleasant if they're angry, but violating equivalent exchange weakens them. It's built into the rules. I think about this. Whatever's behind this altar is probably some imprisoned demon lord. It could crush me with a thought if it were free. But it's not free, and the rules say it has to pay fair price for what I offer. I'm small enough that it's not worth the faith cost to cheat me. Let's do it. The eyeballs drag the mother's enormous corpse onto the altar. Lala takes the priest's position, extends her trembling hand, and begins chanting. Strange syllables, sometimes fast and sharp, sometimes slow and resonant. Red light bleeds from the mother's body. The air turns cold, oppressive, terrifying. It feels like 1,000 invisible eyes are staring at me from every direction. Chains of glowing runes wrap around the corpse. The altar surface ripples like liquid. The mother's body sinks into the stone as if being swallowed by quicksand. Deeper and deeper until she's completely gone. The surface smooths out. A single ripple, then stillness. Lala exhales with relief. Nothing happened, my lord. No divine message, no gift. I look down at the back of my hand. Maybe something already did. A great demon has marked you. Pain explodes across the back of my hand. I scream. It feels like an invisible knife is carving into my skin. Jagged, crooked lines forming a split-eye symbol that radiates pure wrongness. Forbidden. Evil. Like staring at something the universe never intended to exist. Lala peers at it nervously. Strange symbol. Looks like some hidden cult's mark. So I killed the cave mother, sacrificed her body on her own altar, and in return, a demon named Zinlietzi branded me like cattle. Equivalent exchange, they said. Even evil gods play fair, they said. I just got a demonic tattoo I didn't ask for from a hell creature I can't even pronounce. Before I can spiral further, a kobold runs up. My lord, we found a weird wall. We squeeze through a narrow tunnel and emerge into a huge, open chamber. One wall is carved with a twisted figure. Horns, rows of tiny teeth across its chest, tangled tentacles on its back. The mark on my hand throbs when I look at it. Lala, do you know who Zinlietzi is? Never heard the name. Great. Even the Drow Encyclopedia doesn't have a file on whatever, just stamp my hand. Then the kobold touches the wall and goes absolutely giddy. Anti-magic stone. The entire wall is anti-magic stone. My dungeon upgrade to level 3 requires 2,000 units of anti-magic stone. I've been wondering where to get that much. And here's an entire wall of it. Anti-magic stone is weird. Nearly immune to magic, but physically fragile, like glass. The kobolds bash chunks off with their pickaxes like it's nothing. I stuff as much as I can into the wormhole eye. Can't carry it all in one trip, so I mark the route for return visits. On the way home, the system announcement hits. Beast Tide concluded. A&T week has ended. Then the rewards. Top 100,000 players get a blue chest. Top 10,000 get a red chest. Top 1,000 get a gold chest. Top 100 get a second talent. My ranking, 37th. 37th. Out of billions. I get all 3 chests and a second talent. I killed 2 cave lords and the cave mother herself. Apparently that counts for something. The chat erupts. I ranked 8,234,522nd. I beat 5% of players. Crying laughing. I'm 100,000 first. 1 spot away from a blue chest. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm on a sky island. I dropped a few bombs during the tide and still ranked top 500k. Some people really had it rough. You guys are getting rewards? I just got 10 ants and a participation badge. Then the system drops another bombshell. Week 1 newbie benefits have expired. Trading market update. Teleportation fees. Every purchase now costs an extra 2% of the transaction per kilometer of distance. Buying something from 50 kilometers away. Price doubles. The trade economy I've been exploiting. Buying cheap surface food. Selling it underground for massive profits. Just got a lot more expensive. The free ride is over. They're taxing teleportation? My desert water flipping business is dead. I was running a transport company using free market teleportation. My whole operation is ruined. That last guy gets immediately dogpiled. You're the reason they patched it. This is your fault. Some smart player explains the logic. Without fees, resources from anywhere flow everywhere at zero cost, flattening all prices globally. Local scarcity becomes meaningless. The fee forces regional economies and makes geography matter. It's basically the system preventing total economic collapse. Another player theorizes it's really about energy conservation. Teleporting matter across distances requires energy, and gold is that energy. Physics even applies in fantasy worlds. As a former physicist, I appreciate the elegance. As a war profiteer, I hate it. Time for my rewards. I start with the second talent. My first talent, all things can be known, has been underwhelming. Theoretically powerful. Once I hit 60% intel on any species, all my damage becomes true damage that ignores defenses. In practice, I haven't reached 60% on anything. It's basically been a fancy scouting tool for checking enemy stat sheets. Draw second talent? Yes. I don't notice the demon mark on my hand flickering as I confirm. The display glitches. Corrupted symbols flash across my vision for a split second. You have drawn your second talent. Killing to know. Killing to know. Too much thinking has led you to confusion and pain. You've decided to explore the unknown through a different method. Each time you kill an enemy, you gain a small amount of intelligence on that species. The amount gained depends on the target's strength and status. I read it twice. My first talent gains intel by staring at enemies and rolling dice. My second talent gains intel by killing enemies. No dice. No luck. Just death. They're designed to work together. Stare to scout. Kill to accumulate. And once the combined intel hits 60% on any species, every attack becomes armor-piercing true damage. The more I kill a species, the better I understand them. The better I understand them, the more my attacks ignore their defenses. The more my attacks ignore their defenses, the easier they are to kill. The easier they are to kill, the more I understand them. It's a snowball. A murder snowball. I look at the demon eye on my hand. Did Zinlietzi tamper with my talent draw? The glitch during selection was suspicious. The talent's description, too much thinking has led to pain, sounds less like a system reward and more like something whispering from the nine hells. But the talent itself is undeniably perfect for me. I clench my marked fist. Whatever game you're playing, demon, for now, I'll take the gift and keep my eyes open. But the moment you try to collect on this debt, we're going to have a problem.